Welcome to the Project, the podcast with the mission to cover every project throughout pop culture and history. I'm Sam.
And I'm Lewis.
And this week we watched an episode of the White Rabbit Project.
Yeah, we did. Episode 4, I want to say, or 5.
I don't know.
Episode 4.
It was called Heists.
It was called Heists.
And it had some heists in it. I didn't know if you were going to pick up on this, but I know in the past you kind of questioned whether some of the things they cover are actually relevant to the topic.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be at least one in this that maybe doesn't quite fit.
I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't remember 5 of the heists right now.
That's fine. Yeah,
so
yeah,
I remember one,
fine.
the one that
That's
they
fine.
go back to because
Yeah,
I knew about that one anyway.
and they kind of move. We'll group them like we've done in the past and make
Yeah.
it less kind of jumping around. But before that, there's time codes if you want to skip straight to it, and you can skip straight to it now if you want to. It's all in the episode description. But before that, how are you today, Lewis?
Yeah, I wish I could skip to it now.
I know, me too.
No, I'm fine.
Skip
I'm
past
fine.
it, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been weird weather this week.
Yeah, it's been super rainy and like kind of humid, but kind of just
Yeah.
like a bit miserable.
And I'm going away for the weekend tomorrow, and
What's the weather supposed to be like there?
Cloudy, some sun on
I was
Saturday.
going to say with a chance of meatballs.
No, and there was one thing we were planning on doing that needs it to be sunny, so I'm going to call tomorrow.
Was it sunbathing?
No, although it's got a nice beach there, so that
Las
may happen
Vegas?
anyway. Yes, I'm going to Las Vegas, the city famously
Yeah.
away from any coast.
Yeah, nice beach.
It's got a lovely beach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping the weather's all right. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Yeah. I've got a bit of a sinus problem, so I might sound a bit more nasal than usual, even more. But yeah, my brain's probably gone a bit funny as well, which is why I kind of tripped up on the intro there. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Nice.
We're recording this like a week after the last one, which is pretty
pretty standard.
pretty standard. But in between, we had San Diego Comic-Con, which
We did.
in the past has been where Marvel Studios and DC Warner Brothers / Discovery, they are now, would put all their new trailers and stuff up. As we said last week with Hamish, they've skipped it this year. And it
Yeah.
was mostly TV or comic book stuff, which is more what it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think I sent a little picture to you was the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong comic,
Yes.
which is coming out in October, and it's a 7-issue miniseries. They haven't really released any other details, but there was some artwork, which I don't know if it was just kind of fabricated stuff or not, but it's quite a fun little idea. I don't really...
Who's going to be involved in that?
As in, well, probably the people that I listed just there.
What did you say?
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
In my head, it was DC versus Godzilla versus Kong.
So I imagine it will be a case of Godzilla and Kong both turn up somewhere, and then the Justice League are like, we'll go
Yeah.
sort this out. And there's probably a third big thing that they have to
It
all
might
fight
be
together.
reminiscent of our famous Project prize fight between Batman and Nemesis, who's a Godzilla-esque
It might
character.
be. If they end up on the beaches of Normandy during D-Day, then
Yeah.
we know where they got that idea from. Don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's a pretty fun one. There's a couple other things. There's a new Adventure Time film, I think, coming out, which looked pretty cool. It's a TV thing of Fiona and Cake, which was like the gender swapped version that they did for a couple of episodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like a little cat instead of Jake the dog, and
Yeah.
it looks like
Because dogs are boys and cats are girls.
Exactly. And there's a couple of comic things. There's something called Who Are the New X-Men? I don't know. I guess
I
we'll
reckon
find
it's
out.
going to be Wolverine, Professor X, Cyclops, and Colossus.
Yeah, probably. Or maybe just one of them and then a load of... I saw recently they've introduced like a new edgier Wolverine. It's like, how many times are you doing that? Every 2 years? Like, it's just silly. They also... Did you hear about them killing off Miss Marvel, like, properly? She died in the comics.
No, I missed that.
2 months later, she's back and
Of
she's
course.
now a mutant. So I wonder what they're kind of aligning with there.
Yeah.
The MCU, but they've given her an X-Men style costume that's yellow and blue, and it's got an X on it. And
How is she just back as a mutant?
I don't really know. I read headlines. I read comics sometimes, but Rick and Morty season 7's coming out at some point. They are going for a kind of replacement Justin Roiland rather than a completely new voice.
Yeah,
as they did with
I guess
Solar
he did
Opposites.
so many voices. It just makes sense.
And I guess he'll be he or they or she or whoever's doing the voice will be doing a bit of a what do you call it? Like a impression. Yeah, a replication. I was going to say, and they're also doing an anime series
of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, they did a little trailer, and it was like, yeah, I feel like they've done shorts, and I mean, there's episodes that have been very anime inspired in the past. Seems a little bit redundant, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's the point of doing that?
Yeah, the Continental, I was going to say Rick and Morty, Johnny Wickles spin-off. Well, origin series. Has Mel Gibson as the bad guy.
Huh.
Which is something I think nobody saw coming there.
No, that's bizarre.
I don't know if they'll get like a young version of Johnny Wickles at some point.
They might stay away from him. They might get a young Ian McShane.
I think the main characters is a young version of him and a young Chiron. Played by the late great Lance
Reddick.
I was gonna say Hendrickson. Oh God, my brain today.
Wow, this is gonna be fun.
I know, yeah, I'm getting through it. Invincible season 2 is coming out soon. There's a
finally
standalone little Atom Eve origin story. Who was the female lead of that little mini thing that you can watch on Amazon Prime, and Mortal Kombat 1. Which I think is like the 3rd or 4th Mortal Kombat 1.
I was gonna say,
they've announced that Homelander and Ultraman from Invincible, so Invincible's dad plus Homelander plus the character that John Cena plays in that thing, Peacemaker. They're all going to be playable characters, so they're doing a bit of like a super bad guys pack for that. So
fair enough.
That's pretty fun. Yeah. And that's all the news that I wrote down. There was plenty of comics announced and that sort of thing.
So this wasn't a year to go to Comic-Con then.
No. Although if you went there for buying, overpriced merch and comics and wearing costumes that probably took a lot of your money and time, then it's probably the same in that sense. But yeah, you didn't have to queue up for Hall H or whatever and then watch a 30-second clip that goes online the next day.
Yeah.
It probably smelled the same. I've heard it smells bad.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what these nerds are like with their personal hygiene.
Sitting in basements, talking to microphones all day. Ugh.
Yeah, God.
Disgusting.
Oh.
Any of those...
Carry on with the podcast.
Any of those... in the basement. Any of those take your fancy particularly?
Invincible, I will watch. Rick and Morty, I'll probably watch. Probably not an anime version because it
wasn't even like fully anime. Like it was slightly more stylized.
Yeah, it's just what's the point?
Yeah.
I'll probably just get around to Rick and Morty. I'll watch Invincible when it comes out. The Justice League Godzilla Kong might be interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those to keep an eye on. If it gets good reception, the first few
Mortal Kombat, I don't really care about.
No. I'll probably like watch a video where you see like what Homelander's finishing move is or whatever, and be like, yeah, cool, yeah.
But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you know that the comic that I mentioned, Big Game, the Wanted, Kick-Ass, all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's come out this week, and my pre-ordered copy is on its way to me, and I was going to read it digitally, and I was like, no, I've bought this. I'll wait till it turns up. So I'll probably talk about it next week. But yeah. But yeah, other than all that, what's the first segment, Lewis?
Oh well, it's the second segment now, isn't it? Project News.
Woo, worth the wait. Woo, worth the wait.
I've just got the one bit. It's a bit of a slow news week. All the Project News is about Oppenheimer, and we've spent the last month talking about Oppenheimer, so I didn't want to get another bit of news for that.
I messaged Lewis earlier in the week, and I was like, all the podcasts that I want to listen to are all about either Barbie or Oppenheimer, and I'm fucking sick to death of listening to it.
Yeah.
Our episodes are out now. If anyone's missed them, you can listen to.
If you want to listen to another podcast about,
if this is the only podcast you listen to, then we've of course had to cover that.
Yeah, or if you want to hear the true story behind the film,
just scroll up or down a little bit, however your feed works.
Or some completely unrelated things of Manhattan Project in the title.
They're all there. Yeah.
But this is from The Guardian. You may have heard of.
Yes, I have. Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And it is Mexico steps up rain-making project amid intense heat wave and drought.
Right, okay.
So a good 70, 80 episodes ago, we did Project Cumulus, which was the British cloud seeding project in, I want to say, the late 40s, early 50s.
Yes.
And we talked about, cloud seeding, if it's a thing, how successful it is. And the Mexican government claims a 98% success rate for cloud seeding.
Oh, fair.
But critics are saying maybe just improve the farming and the water supply systems instead of
putting loads of money into it.
Cloud seeding. I didn't actually read the article because it's probably as you'd expect.
Yeah,
but,
we don't need to.
But the cloud seeding apparently increased precipitation up to 40% above forecast. So, I mean, if they're having a drought and it helps,
yeah,
why not? Yeah. But maybe it is fair to be fix the problems as well.
Yeah, like the infrastructural kind of.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between infrastructure and infrastructure? Or are they the same thing?
It's the same word, but one's pronounced wrong.
Infrastructure
is infrastructure.
It is infrastructure. Yeah. I was thinking about this recently.
I think people just come and say infrastructure because it's easier.
Infrastructure. Yeah.
Infrastructure.
Silent R.
No, it's not silent.
No, but I mean, they're pronouncing it as if it is. Yeah. So what was the project called? Just, did it say?
It doesn't actually say. It's just a cloud seeding project. Oh. It began in July. It is July, so it started this month. And it's planes, as we discussed way back when, planes flying into clouds to release silver iodide particles,
right, okay.
Which then add additional water droplets and increase rain or snowfall. So exactly how we discussed the British did it in the 50s.
Yeah.
And
well, hopefully they don't get any of the same results.
Yeah, because it flooded a town and killed people. So
what they should do is get a big fan and blow all the clouds away from us towards Mexico.
That's a good idea.
They could put it on the I-360. That's probably tall enough, right?
Isn't that what the wind farms are for?
Of course. They're not doing a very good job. They're not high enough to do that. They are quite high.
They are pretty high.
Not high enough for clouds, though, maybe.
Yeah, well, you get some low clouds. Maybe we need to stick some need to stick some wind farms on the top of a mountain to proper blow the clouds around. Or they should do whatever they did in Geostorm.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember. They controlled the weather in that. I can't remember how.
It was just through various means, but it was all connected to one computer. So some of it was cloud seeding, I think.
Was it like a satellite system around the world?
Yeah, and it would shoot different pods to do different things. It didn't really make any sense.
And the Geostorm never happened.
It was one of those where they keep teasing the thing, and they're like, if we don't fix this, Gerard Butler, then you're gonna have to deal with a geostorm. He sorted it out, so it's fine.
It was a bad film. That
it was bad. Yeah, it wasn't Misfits guy in it.
It was Robert Sheehan.
Yeah. Was it him? Because we spoke about this recently.
No, it was him.
Didn't you?
He wasn't in something else that we thought he was in.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go into the main part of the podcast.
That film came out in 2017.
Yeah.
The satellite was called Dutch Boy. That's a Manhattan Project reference, right? Very vaguely so.
Maybe.
it was released in 2017, but it was set in 2019.
Yeah, the far future.
Anyway, yes, let's do the thing you just said.
Yeah, the main talk, which is White Rabbit Project. So we've covered this a few times in the past.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever particularly thought it was very good.
No, there's always moments where either when they replicate something in real life, they're doing it to kind of test something. The Mythbusters adjacent stuff. Well, are you going to talk about what it
we'll
is?
do a bit, but carry on.
Yeah, but the more Mythbusters adjacent stuff is pretty fun, and they can the stories they're telling and the examples are normally quite interesting.
Yeah,
but
the three hosts are bad to different degrees. Grant is okay.
Grant's okay, yeah.
Tori's a bit annoying, and Carrie is really annoying.
I feel like in this episode in particular, there's barely anything from any of them. They're
They're barely in this.
They're barely in this one, and even the ending of it, like Carrie says like a really quick line, and then it cuts right after.
Yeah,
they just shut the fuck up.
There's very little discussion, and like in the past, some of the worst parts of this show is when they reenact stuff.
Yeah,
and there wasn't much of that, and
some of it was okay in there.
The one reenactment didn't involve them; they'd hired like actors.
Well, there was the DB Cooper one in the middle that Grant is like standing and watching.
Yeah, but he's barely
I quite like
involved.
that, like having the host in the modern outfit just like observing within the set. I think that's quite a fun little thing, which I don't know if they've done much before. Maybe
no, they haven't.
Maybe in bits, but it seems like every episode they try like a new thing,
which is really weird.
It's really weird.
Like,
and this is the first one where I've kind of been like, this is okay. Like, I didn't love watching it.
Yeah, I think it's because we saw less of the hosts.
Yeah, I really think it was.
So yeah, the hosts are Carrie Byron, Tori Bellici, and Grant Imahara.
Yeah,
it's a spin-off from Mythbusters. They were all three of them were kind of like secondary cast,
kind of like
Mythbusters.
people that they'd be like, hey, we need a chemist guy, let's go to this guy, or we need like an engineer, or we need a lady who on the team.
Yeah, it was after Mythbusters finished.
Yes,
Netflix did this. They cancelled it after one season because it's shit. And it's still there, fortunately for us. I have asked you in the past what you think the IMDb score is, and I don't reckon you remember because I've got the series and the episodes. So do the series first.
I have absolutely no idea,
because I reckon we've done this every time, and you've got it wrong every time because you're yet to get one of these right.
Yeah, I am. I don't think I've ever.
This is the 5th episode, actually.
Yeah, I was trying to look that up, but then as you mentioned that I was supposed to be guessing something, I've stopped my search there. Well, I've scrolled down away from it. Although I can see the Rotten Tomatoes score. Did you ask me that?
No, okay. I asked you the IMDb.
Shows how much I pay attention to this part.
So yeah, what's your guess for the series?
For the series as a whole, it's like 6.5.
Oh, I thought you were going to get it right for once. No, it's 6.9.
No, I just went with whatever the Rotten Tomatoes was.
Okay.
65%.
This episode, I'll tell you now, is the second highest rated episode in the entire season.
Okay, so from experience, I know that they're always higher, normally higher, than the overall score.
Yeah.
So, and I've no idea what the other ones would have been. I'm just staring at 65% on my screen and 21 votes. 7.2.
7.2 is correct.
Oh, is that the first time I've ever got
I think it's the
right?
first. So 102 guesses.
I'm just checking to see I haven't got any clues on my screen. No, I don't.
7.2 is the episode rating.
Wow, and that was the secret to this whole thing. Now I'm leaving.
Or you're going to get it right every week.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, probably not.
No. You finally did it though. Did you have a real sense of like pride and accomplishment there?
Not really. No.
No,
I'll be honest.
I
didn't. It doesn't. It's like one of those very hollow victories where people talk about, where you just go like, "Oh, okay, well, that's it." I was trying to look up how many episodes there are.
There's 10.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So we're halfway.
Yay! I can see 7.2 there. Nice. I can confirm for myself that I got it right.
So shall we get into the episode?
Yeah. So there is a little opening bit which we can talk about, but that's the opening to this one main heist that's spread throughout.
Yes.
Shall we do that one in full once we get into it?
Yeah, sure.
I did.
In fact, we could just do the explanation and stuff first, then go back to.
That's what I'm thinking.
So yeah, they say it's a heist episode where, as always, each of them have picked 2 heists to do a deep dive in. One of them generally in more depth than the others. And they've picked criteria, as they always do, which is something we always have issue with.
But we'll probably do our own ratings at the end.
Yes, but they use criteria to judge the episodes. The criteria for this and judging what is the best heist was 1, the amount stolen.
Yes.
So
how much they stole
in dollars.
In dollars, and it's adjusted for today's currency.
Yeah.
I think in all of them, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, that's a fair criteria.
Yeah, this next one, not so much.
Time until court.
Yeah, or how long they've gotten away with for, they say sometimes. But the problem with that is that you could pull off the best heist in the world and get caught, I'd say within the week is probably you failed. But, if it's much more than that, I would say, you still pulled it off. You just got caught afterwards. The heist wasn't unless you left evidence.
See, I think if somebody robbed like $1 billion from like a Las Vegas casino and got arrested like the next week, and it was all like Ocean's 11 style.
Yeah, I started watching Ocean's 11 recently.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And got caught the next week. I think that would be a better heist than if I snuck £1 out of your wallet and you never found out.
Oh yeah,
but according to this, they'd be scored pretty much the same.
Oh god, yeah. There's some one of the ones that they go on about a lot. We're probably not necessarily think of the same one, but one of the ones they talk about, they're like, "Oh, it's so good that this guy did this thing." I'm like, "Is it? It's just boring, and he didn't do anything with his stuff." Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Shut up.
And then the third criteria is degree of difficulty, which is a fair one to have, but
incredibly subjective.
They always make sure they've got a subjective one in there, so Carrie can make sure her one wins.
Did her one win again?
I don't know, but that's often the case.
I have no idea.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Oh no, I don't think it is Carrie.
I think it might.
I think it might be Tori.
Might be Tori.
But that's often the way in the past. But yeah, so the first one we're introduced at we're looking at a diamond vault in London.
Yeah, it does a little like Hatton Gardens, London. They're starting up a new vault thing, and then it skips ahead 61 years. So it goes from I don't know, whenever it was. Was it like the 1930s or something?
No, the heist was in like 2016 or something, wasn't it? Or maybe like 2012.
Oh, okay, so 1940s plus 60, because it's plus 61 years. So
maybe like the early 50s.
I swear in the first bit we see there's like carriages and stuff, and then I was like thinking about 61 years. Anyway, it's historic for having very good security for jewels and diamonds and that.
Yeah, and nobody's ever broken into it, and then people break into it.
Yes, April 2015. I wrote down. Yeah,
there we go. And people are shocked, and they call it the biggest British heist of all time.
Which I feel like you spoke about the Great Train Robbery recently. Yeah, does that not count as a heist?
That's way more of a heist. Yeah, I'd say, because that's like lots of moving parts. And
but I'm thinking, like, do they? I mean, I like this story, but they're both heists in their own ways. Like, this is more of a traditional heist, I suppose, rather than a robbery where you're kind of sticking them up.
So yeah, what's the difference between a heist and a robbery?
I would say, well, yeah, exactly, because there's another one on here. There's two on here which I don't think count as heists.
Because like I feel like a heist is one of those things where it's lots of meticulous planning, and it's almost like the people don't realize they've been robbed.
Yes, exactly.
Until they've got away.
Ocean's 11. Yeah.
And Hustle, that TV show that I've spoken about,
it comes up every 10 episodes, and I still don't know anything.
But
about it.
Sort of thing where Ocean's 11 style,
like without violence normally.
Yeah.
Or without, like, maybe with the threat of violence as part of it, but not like
rather than going into a bank with a shotgun and being like, put your hands up and give me the money.
Or waiting until people are doing something and shooting a gun and then stealing the stuff and running and getting in a river.
See, I think like the Great Train Robbery is kind of on that vaguish grey line because it's all the heisty stuff and they get away before anyone's realised it. But it does also involve holding people at gunpoint. So I think that's kind of the middle. I think if
it's a complex robbery that has heisty elements, maybe is what.
Yeah,
but still, I feel like they could be like, it's only second to this, which is more of a robbery or whatever.
Yeah, and like this made the news. I remember this happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's been at least one film about this.
Yeah, there was the Michael Caine film, wasn't there?
King of Diamonds or something it was called. I don't know.
Something like that. I did watch it. It wasn't very good.
Oh yeah. I've also listened to another podcast. Yeah, not us right now. Do Go On, who you'll be familiar with.
Yes.
They've done an episode on the Hatton Garden heist. So after listening to this, if you want to know a bit more detail, you can go listen to that. But don't you pause it quite yet.
But yeah. basically, so that's so they call them the Grandad Gang, right?
That's not what they're called.
Quite often in this, they'll use like the actual name for things, like they
Yeah.
had the Ponzi scheme and stuff.
Yeah.
They made up this name. I remember when this news was happening. I remember the film.
Yeah.
They've never been called the Grandad
They've never been
Gang.
called the Grandad Gang. And there's also more than 4 of them. I remember that. And I'm looking at a poster of the film cast now. There's 5 anyway, so that's weird. There was one film called The Hat and Garden Job. I don't really recognize any of these people in it, but the main one was King of Thieves.
King
which
of
was
Thieves.
The bigger budget one.
Yeah.
It was, I think, like Jim Broadbent's in it. Like it's all the classic.
Michael
lads.
Caine was the main guy, I think. But yeah,
the Hat and Garden Job. The main guy in that is Gavin. Gavin's dad from Gavin and Stacey.
Oh, that guy.
He's in this one.
The TV Charles Dance.
Yes, that guy. Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah. I got confused then because Gavin, to me, is like a Welsh name, but he's not the Welsh one.
No.
So I was like, is he the right guy?
So yeah, basically the Grandad Gang. They say they were retirees, and one of them even went to the heist on the bus.
Yeah.
What? And they say and they're like, why did they do this? I'm like, one's got cancer, one's got diabetes, one can't even remember their name. And I was like, that's bullshit.
You just made that up. Also, they do like a bit of like getting one of the characters to introduce them like it's a heist film, and the guy who's doing it is like clearly Australian. Like he's not even doing a very good accent. Like maybe one or two of them have like decent accents.
They do lots of Cockney rhyming slang because that's funny.
I feel like
isn't it?
some of that's like one of the early ones is made up as well.
Yeah,
the first one that they explain to each other, the presenters, I'm like, that's not a real one.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
And also throughout this, they're constantly farting,
yes,
and I'm like, fucking hell.
And they're like, Guff, did you have a curry last night? And
Yeah.
it's like, fucking.
It's like, oh,
Like
God.
if they didn't have the fart jokes and the accent, I could probably excuse the accents because although there's probably enough old men that can do a British accent in Hollywood or wherever they film this, you know, I could excuse it if it wasn't full of fart jokes. And like when you first meet them, they're like, oh, my back. Oh, it's like that didn't then.
It's like they wouldn't have been able to do this if they were like as elderly as these guys are making them out.
No, it's a bit silly.
And
they go into detail about one liking to go to sleep in a fez and a dressing gown. It's like that probably is true but it's also like it's a bit like when they just take the piss out of the stupid stuff.
It's one of those things where like after like a big like crime happens, and you get like 10 weeks of the Daily Mail doing insights into it, and they're like,
what a freak.
Chapter 4 of their diary, they said they slept in a fez, and that is like front page, and that's what people run
like
with.
Some fetish or something.
Yeah, and it's always some fetish. Like anything that any crime person's ever had in their bedroom is a fetish to the media.
Yeah, and
it's like, this person had a Hoover in their bedroom. They must have used that for masturbation.
Yeah. They probably did, yeah.
But yeah, they talked to a guy from Scotland Yard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They're talking to he was one of the detectives that on the case.
Peter Spindler, which sounds like a made-up name, but he's a real person.
That sounds like a criminal name, like he'd do something horrible.
And they say he said, because they've clearly given him like an upfront how they're gonna present this, and he says to do this they've got to be bold, have a plan, and have a beer.
No.
And I was like, oh God.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't lean that they obviously did meet in the pub to discuss it. Like that's a real thing. I thought they were going to lean into them being like all complete pissheads and stuff. And I was like, if they do that, that's like they might have been pissheads, but they probably weren't drunk on the job kind of thing.
I would say like 90% of the time that British people meet up with their friends, it's at a pub.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like old men as well.
Yeah, you're gonna go to a pub.
Yeah, and I thought they were gonna be like, oh, can you imagine? They're in a pub. They're in a they're drinking. I thought it was going to be like a real like
if I get to their age, I'm planning on spending my entire time at the pub. Like,
apart from when you're down at Hatton Garden.
Yeah. Joe, I have to say though, like they say these guys have got criminal history. I think that's the next bit actually.
Yeah, they go into a bit of their background. I didn't write down all the names.
If when I'm like 80 and like I'm on like my
sure
last
you want to
legs,
say this on the podcast?
I'm on my last legs. If somebody who I was a close friend with came up to me and said, "Look, I'm gonna rob a bank. Do you want to help me?" I'd be like, "Yes, 100%."
This is funny because me and Amy were watching Naked Attraction last night, and there was a 75-year-old man on it.
Oh, bloody hell!
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the other people were naked. Of course, they were old as well, as you can imagine. So it was quite sweet actually. It was quite interesting. But yeah, it was that kind of thing. Like he's 75, he wanted to find love.
Yeah,
he was a nudist already, so he didn't really care. About but it's just like, yeah, why not go on Naked Attraction, then go rob a
bank? Yeah,
afterwards.
Because like, oh, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna put you in prison for like the last 4 years of your life or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you get into 80, you want borrowed time already, so you might as well do something fun with it.
You never know; they might have a new technology by the time we're there. Robot legs,
drill hands.
That'll be really helpful for the heist.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, so they talk about the 4 people
Yes.
in the heist, which is Brian Reader, the leader, the governor,
Yes.
John Collins, Terry Tell Perkins,
Wonder where he got that name from.
and Danny Jones, who's the younger one. Who that sounds like a made up name.
Yeah, and he's like 60 or something, isn't he? And the rest of them are like in their late 70s.
Yeah, and they say they're all like career criminals.
Yeah,
so...
one of them, I think the youngest one, is they said he spent most of his adult life in prison.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So they go away, but we'll carry on.
Yeah.
So they show like actual CCTV footage of the thing.
They wore like construction kind of outfits, like they had dust masks on and like hard hats to kind of disguise themselves on CCTV.
Yeah. And then it turns into like some like 4-bit game.
Yeah, it's like old 8-bit animation. And I guess it's because they're old, like 8-bit games are old, but it was just like annoying. It was like blip, 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 and it was like it went through all the stuff like they did. Platform.
So yeah, they went down the fire escape.
It seems like 2 of them went in and 2 of them waited. So I guess like the less able ones waited to get let in by them. After they...
So yeah, 2 they went down inside the basement. 2 of them went up some stairs. They disabled the lift. They then climbed down like the lift hole.
Yeah.
Down to the basement. Disabled the alarm and then let the other 2 in.
Yeah, and they had to drill through. Was it 2 foot thick? Did they say, or was it more than that of concrete? I think they said 2 foot.
Something like that. A reinforced concrete wall.
Yeah, which is going into the vault kind of thing.
Yeah, and so Grant is going to do this himself.
Yeah, and this is the kind of stuff that is fun.
Practical.
Yeah.
So he gets the concrete wall and he shows them basically how they do it, where they have to put a nail into the wall and screw that in.
There's like a mounting thing, and basically you keep attaching bits until you've got this giant round, and it's diamond tip, which is quite ironic because you need diamonds to get diamonds, he says. And this is cut against the actual reproduction of the old guys doing the same thing.
And it took Grant an hour to put this together and mount it to the wall.
I feel like he fucked that up, right?
Yeah.
Like...
What's taken an hour? You could do that in 10 minutes, surely. It's putting a nail in a wall, putting a thing on the nail, and then attaching the bit.
It's putting all the drills together as well. But
can't
still,
be that many bits.
No, I'm thinking like for some reason I'm thinking of like an IKEA furniture thing. But like if you put together an IKEA furniture thing that's the same size as that, it's not going to take you an hour.
There couldn't have been that many parts to this.
No.
No. I reckon I could do that in 20 minutes. I'm saying that now.
Yeah.
Yep. If you want to test me on that, then bring me the drill and I'll do it in 20 minutes.
Bring me a drill.
The old guys fart a bit whilst they're doing it because farts are funny.
Yeah, and they're like, I've written groaning granddads with awful accents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's because they're all trying to pick it up together and they're like, oh, all right, Sonny Jim. And
Yeah.
then they go, oh, my back. And then they have to keep doing
Yeah.
it over and over. It's that kind of thing.
Grant starts drilling the wall, and it takes him 30 minutes to like break through.
Again, could have done it in 25.
See that,
No.
that I reckon is fair enough.
It's like a water cooled thing. So yeah, and they've got to do 3 of these holes in a kind of horizontal pattern.
Yes, I remember this when it first came out. Peached in the newspaper of like, this is how they got into Hatton Garden.
Yeah.
I always feel like there was a better way to put those holes, because they put like 3 like overlapping holes and squeeze someone in. It's quite a tight squeeze.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like maybe if they were spread out a bit further, so that, I mean, the points would come down a bit, but you'd have a bit more arm room to get through.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was also wondering, like, did they calculate any of this? Did they do measurements?
They must have, surely.
They must have done, because
I think maybe another better way to do it would be more of like a triangle rather than a line, because then you've got a bit more like up and down space as well.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is to get shoulder width in, because that's often the widest part, isn't it? And there's only so much you can put your shoulders in.
Yeah, I think
maybe hips, depending on the person.
If I was to do this, I'd make the holes a bit wider, and then also maybe bring like an electric sounder to sound like the points.
I think you'd need to do extra drills, but if you accounted the time to do those drills as well, which I guess is 6 more, isn't it? If there's
3 holes.
3 holes, so 4 more with the extra points, because there'd be 2 points at the top and 2 points at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
if you account for that, it
wouldn't
wouldn't take as long. But if or
just
do the
get a second drill.
Yeah,
do 2 holes at once.
I mean, also, how much did this cost them? Did they have to buy the drill? I know they went to buy the thing that they fuck up later. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, the better way would be to have some sort of like oblong or square shape, like a rectangle shaped drill. But I know that drills, as we learned from a hummingbird project, tend to spin.
Although there's that one shape that's kind of like a triangle, but the lines are like curved outwards. And if you put that on a rotor, it cuts like a perfect square. It cuts like a perfect square if you do it like that.
Oh, right.
Have you seen those ones?
Yeah.
You could do it like that. Do a couple of them. Joe, what, in a couple of weeks, the police are going to turn up here and they'll be like, there was a robbery and we've listened to your podcast and they did it exactly how you said. Did you guys do it?
I will say, no, officer, of course not. We were busy recording the next episode.
Yes. Ignore our gold chains and diamond rings. They were gifts from our fans.
Yes. So, fans, please start sending those in now.
Yeah, they need to be.
Oh, no, cover. I mean, they've arrived already. And they're here. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
I literally have nothing.
Yeah, I know. I just shook a
me.
water bottle next to the thing, and it made that noise, which is yeah. But yeah, we've got all these crowns and jewels here already, and the crown jewels as well. So we've got a full alibi there.
Our old friend Charlie was like, "Hey, big fan of the pod. Thought you guys might want to check out these." And sent us the crown jewels
and a picture of his crown jewels as well. Which, we've burnt, of course, because scarring.
Yeah, and it's probably treason to see that, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if he shows the
Just
tune.
Treason to say what you said after, I have to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously 3 drills, 30 minutes each, going to take 90 minutes.
Yes.
They say it's now 4 a.m. when they finish.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the hole is like a steel stack of the safety boxes that's in their way.
The deposit boxes. So because they've come in rather than from the main entrance with the vault door, which would be the strongest bit of it, I'd imagine, or one of the stronger bits, because they've come in from the back or
this makes sense. They've got a plan. They've got a hydraulic ram.
Yes.
And they set it up and you pump it up and then it fails.
And the guy in the thing's like, stupid Japanese drill. And then the guy's like, it's made in England.
Yeah.
And he goes, And then, they call it quits for the day at 8 a.m.
At 8 a.m., leaving empty-handed.
Yeah.
But they do go back.
This was a little bit confusing because they're like, oh, it was Good Friday that day at 8 a.m. when they quit. And they were like, so it was a public or bank holiday, as we'd call it. They're like, so they could try again. And then it's like, and then on Saturday, they went and got the replacement RAM. I'm like, what did they do with the Friday then?
Oh, I thought it was they went
could...
the first time they went on Good Friday evening on night into Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then got the thing and went back the next night.
Maybe. But they said it was Good Friday then. Yeah. Who knows? But they have to go get a replacement RAM. So this, I don't know which one of them goes to
John Collins.
John Collins goes to get it, and we see a little bit of the CCTV of him buying this.
This time Brian Reader doesn't turn up. He's lost his nerves and he's bottled it.
Yeah.
But the new RAM works.
Yes.
And they put it in, and there's this little small hole. We see Grant go through the hole.
Yeah.
Which I think is in like the intro.
It's in the intro, and in the intro he stops partway through and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going any further, not even for $1 million or whatever." And then in the actual episode he just crawls.
Or like in the intro he says like he's stuck or something.
Yeah.
And we don't see that, he just goes through, and I was like, "Oh, this is underwhelming."
Yeah.
But they steal a load of jewelry and gold, and by 6:44 a.m. they load the treasure into a getaway van. There's no clues left behind.
They put it in like recycling wheelie bins, don't they? Which is quite a good idea. Yeah. So they can walk out with wheelie bins with their outfits on, their builders' outfits, and just like look like they're taking the trash out or whatever.
Yeah. They say they used the bathroom upstairs to keep DNA away from the crime scene.
Yeah. No,
Explain that to me. This is what?
because
what?
Because it's if there's a heist, then they would look in the toilets to see if they used the toilets, and then they could use the DNA of the poos and the peas.
Yeah, so why don't they just have a look in the upstairs toilets?
I think that's what happens in the real thing. I'm sure. I feel like
like the DNA's still gonna be there.
Yeah, but the police didn't think to look up the top.
But they've got CCTV of them going upstairs and going for a piss.
I'm pretty sure when I heard about it, I don't know what to type in: Hatton Garden Heist toilets. And see if it. But I'm pretty sure that they did do the upstairs bathroom thing.
Yeah, I don't doubt they did it, but I doubt whether it actually helped. Grant seemed to think it helped.
Oh, thieves do a Hatton Garden on a cemetery toilet. This is a different thing.
What? What did they steal?
Toilets. Each trip of the toilet was particularly ironic. What? Well, I'm not finding that. Let's just have a look at what the cemetery toilet story was. I know that we've got a lot to get through. Basically, so one, this is from the Mail Online, which I don't like, but the headline is "One Wee Problem: Hatton Garden Style Gang remove roof, cut locks on metal door, and smash through wall, only to discover they've broken into a toilet." So they were trying to find something else. They thought it was I don't know, like a mausoleum or something. Maybe they're gonna get some ancient jewels.
They thought they were Indiana Jones. But yeah, aside from the DNA in the toilet, they say that they left the tools behind, but they didn't leave any fingerprints behind. One of them was reading Forensics for Dummies.
Yeah, which is something that they say did actually happen. They found it in their flat later or whatever.
But they did have one flaw to their plan.
Yes, and it was the white Mercedes, which is, fairly distinctive.
Yeah.
Big white car was picked up on CCTV, both at the crime scene and at the hardware shop. So I guess they would have looked to see who's bought a Ram recently, especially if they left it at the scene.
And they tracked it to John Collins.
Yeah.
Why did he drive the Mercedes to the crime scene?
I'm not sure. Well, they literally say at the end, they make the joke that, if they'd all got on the bus, then it wouldn't have been...
Yeah, they should have all got the bus.
Yeah, they should have, yeah. Or...
walked.
Or park it, way out. But you can... Thing is about London is...
so much CCTV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get the bus then. But then you can be followed like the whole way is the problem.
Walk.
Yeah, but you can still be followed the whole way.
Yeah.
You have to have a moment where you go in somewhere and then change your clothes and then come back out. But I guess then they... Yeah. Interesting. But that's their slip up in the end anyway, isn't it? And
and the Peter Spindler says... They were analog criminals in a digital age.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's been trying to sell that line to newspapers for like 10 years.
Yeah. It's a pretty good line.
Yeah, but he really wanted to say it.
Yeah. He looked really practiced and he was like,
Yeah.
He was a bit of a creep, to be honest. But
yeah, that's the end of the Grandad Gang. So they stole $20 million worth of jewels and gold.
Yes, they did.
So pretty good take.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
They were caught 2 months later, so
which again, like they got away with the heist, they just got caught later.
And the difficulty 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
considering the drill and
I mean, I don't think that's 9 out of 10.
No,
the fact that some granddads did it, like,
yeah,
they are career criminals, like you said, but they're not like it wasn't a particularly complex plan, was it?
No, I'd give it like a 7. I think.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I just thought of something else that should be the criteria. I mean, oh yeah. How much of a heist was this?
I'd say this is
a heist.
This is a heist. Yeah.
It's nobody noticed that it happened until the classic. The people walk into the safe the next day and they're like, "What? Everything's gone."
That's exactly it. That's what
when,
you want.
That's when the police.
I
get
feel
warned.
like if you dramatize this a bit more, if you weren't doing like a true to story, you'd have a bit more like. Maybe
Close
there's
calls.
a security card that they have to like trick or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what was a heist? In the Manhattan Project film, when he snuck into the place and put the lasers up to cut the hole in the wall and stuff.
Yeah, that was a heist.
That was a two-person heist.
He stole plutonium.
Yeah, that was a good heist.
That was because they didn't find out about that for weeks.
No, and he replaced it with shampoo. Yeah. That was a heist. Yeah.
That was like,
that wins.
I think at the time we said that was a good heist.
Did,
but yeah, so that is the Grandad Gang.
Yes, and then the next one is about paintings, isn't it?
No.
Is it not?
No, it's Tory with the Carbonate Gang.
Oh, I put mine in the wrong order.
They do revisit this later on. So this is it starts in Kyiv in Ukraine, but they say it's kind of spread all over. It's it's an ATM dispensing cash in Kyiv, and a passerby takes the cash. But there's no sign of malfunction.
Yeah, it shows a load of guys like looking at it going, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And then
but then they say the passerby was a mule. It's just the tip of the iceberg of a cyber heist gang.
Yeah, and they go into a big thing and they say they got their name from like, did you write down it's different software together and it's like a kind of
down, but
whatever
it's
you call it,
Carbonate.
like a what's it called? When words go together. Portmanteau.
Yeah.
Portmanteau. Which also, I had this whole thing with. Did you ever play Monikers, the game where you do like the charades and stuff? Did you ever play that? No, it's like a kind of Pictionary / charades type thing. Not really Pictionary, more charades. And one of them was portmanteau, so it's obviously quite difficult to act that out.
Yeah.
But earlier rounds you can say certain things or whatever. But there was a big debate between the younger and the older members of my family about what portmanteau means. And a portmanteau is also a type of like leather satchel, and that's what it used to be.
Huh.
And recently we've started using it to mean
weird.
that. So like my mum and auntie were like, no, it's like they were trying to act out like a little like bag, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But yeah, portmanteau, I
remember I once played charades with some work colleagues of mine, and there's one guy, a fucking hilarious guy. So I won't tell you what the word is, but like he started acting this thing, and everyone's like watching for ages, and he's telling a story, and it's like a young guy who like falls in love and sees a woman. Yeah, and like he's like doing both roles.
Wow.
And we're like sitting, it was at my flat, just sitting there watching, just like, what the fuck is this? Like guessing the whole time. He's just and it's like he falls in love with this girl, and then they go up on a date and they have a great time, and then they have sex, and then they like get married and they're all happy, and then they have kids, and they're all happy. Then one of the kids like grows up and leaves, and then the parents fall out. The word was divorce. And he did this whole thing to get to the word divorce.
I thought I was trying to guess there. I went all over for some reason. I thought you I thought you were gonna say that for their honeymoon they went to New York and they went up the Twin Towers.
Oh wow!
I was like, imagine it was kind of like a real dark joke situation. And they went up and they were I was like, okay,
no, but yeah,
divorce is as bad as
it was quite funny. But yeah, basically this Carbonac gang, they've stolen hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody knows who they are.
Yeah,
they work in Ukraine, Russia, and China.
They say they're like black hat hackers, which is like bad guy hackers.
Yeah, they say there's white hat and black hat,
which is like cowboy terminology. I don't know, like from cowboy films, but I don't know if that's really what. I mean, I guess there are good and bad hackers online, but I don't know if they really call them that.
Yeah, I guess like Anonymous would call themselves white hat hackers.
white hackers. I mean, who knows? They're anonymous. They might not be white.
Yeah, but they could have a dozen members.
A lot of this is just like, well, this could be.
And there's lots of like just code going across the screen, and like a woman sitting in a basement smoking.
It's like Ancient Aliens, where they just have a load of stock images like flying past. Yeah.
They've hacked hundreds of banks. And the way they do it is quite cool.
They send like an infected email that looks like it comes from one of the bank workers' colleagues. They open it and they get like a virus kind of thing, and then that can remote access, and they can watch and they learn like the person's like behavior patterns and way they type and talk.
Yes,
and stuff.
They can replicate it.
Yeah, and then what do? They just say like, "I want some money."
I've got written down here that the hacker woman is smoking because she's bad.
Yes, and she had tattoos on her arm.
Yeah,
and she's in a basement, which is obviously the worst place you can be.
Yeah, but they wire money like from rich people's accounts and stuff into dummy accounts,
right?
And these dummy accounts often they'll start with like $10,000 in, and they'll put in $100,000 and then take that out again through like an ATM or something.
Yeah.
So it's still on $10,000,
right?
So people won't notice.
Oh, so they're taking like a bit out each time.
Yeah.
They said they get like 2.5 to 10 million from each bank before they kind of drop it and move on, which is considerable.
Yeah, and they said they've stolen hundreds of millions before they're even noticed, and then as soon as they're noticed, they disappear. Like if they get a hint that somebody's onto them, they just stop what they're doing and leave.
Yeah. I mean, then they do say that they made like $1 billion. So I don't know. I guess if you have enough hundreds of millions, it becomes a billion.
Yeah, and they. But it has to be a lot of millions to make a billion. That's like 1,000 millions.
Yeah. But that's 10 times 100, which is, they said they make hundreds of millions. But it said by the time they're noticed, which implied that they then dropped off the radar.
But he says they've now resurfaced.
Yeah.
But nobody knows who they are.
But
they could be me or you.
No.
Well, they could be listening to this episode right now.
If I put the... I love the Carbonac gang. I love them. And my account number is, if you want to give me some money, Carbonacs.
Go on, read your account number on the podcast.
I don't know it.
I actually do know.
I know my card. I know my card number, but I think by the time this episode comes out, it will actually have run out. I got a new card.
I know my sort code and account number off the top of my head, but I'm reluctant to say it.
Yeah, no, don't say it. No. Although actually, with the sort code, they can set up a direct debit.
Can they?
That's the only thing you need for a direct debit.
Really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong.
I won't
set up all kinds of direct debits for people.
This one's kind of like, firstly, not a heist.
Yeah, exactly. This was the one that I first thought of. Like, this isn't in any way a heist.
Yeah,
it's very clever, and I like how it's like
quite cool.
It's kind of victimless because it's banks.
Yeah, fuck the banks.
Yeah,
and but it's also kind of the thing that like, is there any actual like evidence for this, or is this just one of those like internet rumor things that's been going on for years?
And banks being like, someone in the area of Russia's, but like Russian cyber attacks kind of thing. That's what it seems like.
It's the next heist is the Prince of Nigeria wants the money. It's like, okay,
he's trying to give it away, but there's a secret, and he's gonna steal from you.
So yeah, whilst it was cool,
yeah,
it's kind of like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's heist. I don't even know if it actually happened because.
Well, no, they say as well that they made up the amount because they say 1 billion, which doesn't, as we just figured out, doesn't really correlate with what they said before.
Sometimes they just make these figures up.
Yeah, this is, you know what this is? It's the exact same as the Chinese card counting gang from before.
Yeah,
where they just went, which I thought was quite cool. I think you were a little bit less impressed by that. And that was a heist.
That was a heist. Yeah. What was that on? Scam artist.
Yeah, I mean, this is a station.
This is a scam. Oh my god. What the fuck? Literally just switch those two around.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
What the fuck? Was Scam Artist the last episode as well?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. How weird. But yeah, they say 1 billion. They say 8 out of 10, which I did.
Difficulty. I would probably put it higher because
higher difficulty.
I don't reckon a lot of people can do this.
I reckon more people could do it if they put the time and effort into it, and it would be worth it. Like, you could do the other one. I reckon I could actually do this.
No, I reckon like the actual security.
Maybe not this much, but like,
I reckon the actual security. Like, I reckon part of the reason that I don't even think this is true because I don't think this is possible.
Well, yeah, it seems stupid that you can just be like, "Hello, I am working from your bank, and I would like to take some money."
I reckon like the security, and also this is also implying that everyone that works at the bank is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the copying the behavior thing doesn't make any sense because if you've got access to their keystrokes and you can see everything on their computer, you can just see what the password is and you just put it in and then you just take the money.
Like we get, I'm sure the same what happens at your work. We get spam emails sometimes, and sometimes we'll get an all staff email being like, "Watch out for this spam email that's coming from the boss." I
thought you said a completely different sentence. I thought you said all-star female.
All-star female.
So like some sort of slightly pornographic email comes out. Or a very excellent woman who works for you comes around and tells
Employee
you.
of the month.
She comes around and says, "Don't open that email. I'm the all-star female."
But the all-staff email will be like, "Hey, there's an email going around coming from your boss. Ignore it." I'm not gonna say my boss's name on the podcast.
Your boss.
And I'm sure you get something similar. And we just delete those emails.
Yeah, and then occasionally someone in the office will be like, "Oh no, I already clicked on it," and you're like,
We had someone from my work. I think they'd been working there like 2 weeks, and they spent like £100 of their own money on iTunes voucher or iPhone
of their own
Apple vouchers. Yeah, they got a spam email from the boss saying, "Hey, can you get me these Apple vouchers?"
What an idiot! You don't even work with anything that's to do with that. That's so stupid. I mean, apart from the fact that you work at the Apple store,
Don't tell people I work at the Apple store. But yeah, I think
you're always hacking at the Apple store.
If I have that basic security at my work where like you can't just take money out at a bank, it's gonna be a million times that.
The thing, I'm sure there's reasons why, but you just send one of those spam emails to a rich person. You find out the rich person's email from somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know, go to a party and ask a rich person what their email address is.
As we learned from the Hummingbird Project, billionaires can open their phone and it says like $1 billion on some app on their phone.
And so you just get a little remote access terminal thing in there, and then then you just see what the password is, and then you go, "My money, please."
I do like the thing about getting money sent out of ATMs because then it's
money.
untraceable.
It's money laundering, isn't it? But like pre-money, like it's getting it from digital to analog, as the guy said before. Yeah.
But finally, the time until court, not yet. They haven't been caught.
They say they've been active for at least 3 years, and they're not.
But it's also one of those things. If these people did exist, if they were caught, I reckon they'd immediately be working for the FBI. They wouldn't go to prison,
or we wouldn't hear about it because somebody wants like some recompense and just
they'd be dead in an
alleyway,
or working for the FBI.
Yeah, it depends who gets them first. I'm pretty sure one of the Die Hard films has like a thing like that, where one of the more recent ones.
I've only seen the first two, so
you've only seen the first two.
Yeah,
You haven't seen the third one with Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
that was good. That's better than the second one. Second one's not very good.
No, it's not. The
No.
first one's good.
First one's good. The third one is genuinely quite good. It's got
Samuel L. Jackson.
yeah, and as well as him, I can't remember who played. I think who's the guy who plays
Come on.
who's the guy who plays Alfred in the new Batman films?
Jeremy
Irons. I'm pretty sure Jeremy Irons is in Die Hard 3 playing Hans Gruber's brother. It's literally like it's Jeremy Irons. He's like, my brother died and I'm here. That's not what he sounds like. He does a load of like riddles across New York for him. It's pretty good.
Maybe I'll watch Die Hard 3 at some point. But that's the Carbonate Gang.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So the next one we've got is...
This is the painting one then.
Yeah, who Carrie says, this is a dark horse for the greatest heist.
Yeah, and she goes like all these paintings that from famous people and like lists a load of them were all stolen and they were never found. And then she goes on to talk about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're talking about like the greatest heist of all time and you've got a short list of 6, surely none of them can be a dark horse for the greatest heist. The dark horse for the greatest heist of all time wouldn't even make it onto the list because it's a dark horse.
I thought it was going to be about horses when she first said that, to be honest. It's the kind of like on the nose joke they make on this show.
Yeah, but it's
some guy,
Stefan Breitbieser.
Oh.
Who's a waiter. He's a French waiter.
Yes. And basically between like 1995 and I think 2001, I think they say, he basically just stole loads of art, didn't he?
Yeah, in broad daylight, he'd turn up with a little pocket knife, cut it out the frame, and walk off with it. Yeah,
the first one was $2,000, and then he just kept going up.
He hit 172 museums.
Yeah, and I think they said
239
paintings, I think they said.
Which he stole $1.4 billion worth of art.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. Like
on the face of that, it's pretty impressive, yeah.
I wouldn't spend $1.4 billion on art.
No, and he didn't either.
No.
He stole it. He didn't spend that money on anything.
No, because in 2001, a dog caught him stealing.
That's quite funny. I like that. He had a bugle from Switzerland and a dog.
And the dog was like, hey, guys, that guy's stealing a painting. Do you know what?
No, it was a bugle, not a painting.
What?
A bugle.
What's a bugle?
Like a horn.
Oh, yeah.
Like on the picture of the Daily Bugle, there's a little horn.
And like in How I Met Your Mother, the blue horn, it looked like that.
Kind of like that, yeah.
I thought that what he's done here is he's crossed the line. He's stolen the picture of the dogs playing poker, and the dogs have been like, "Hey,
that's cultural importance.
That's our Mona Lisa. You fucking stay away from that."
And a dog painted that as well, did you know?
Yeah, a dog painted it.
The Mona Lisa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that Leonardo is the right dog.
I feel like that was meant to be like a joke or a pun or something.
No, I mean, I was actually talking about the other one, which dogs actually did paint, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that. It was painted. What was the name of that artist that painted the dogs playing poker? Who? I was hoping I could have thought of something by now.
I mean, I've got the human name they use, but I can't remember what the dog version.
What was the human name?
The human name is Cassius Marseilles Coolidge.
Oh no. No.
Successive paintings from 1894 to 1903. 16 oil paintings commissioned by Brown Dogs. Brown and Bigelow. Those are dog names.
Yeah. But yeah, it turns out Stefan Breitbieser had just been keeping the art at home.
Yeah, because he got caught and he was in court.
I like, obviously he probably just likes art, but
yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I'm a friend, I'm a fan of art. Carrie's like, I'm French, and she does a really
weird, slightly offensive French accent.
Yeah.
I feel like if he's a waiter, he's living on waiter's wages because he hadn't sold these paintings. I don't think he'd have enough space in his house to put up $1.4 billion worth of paintings.
No, I think they're rolled up and kept in tubes.
What's even the point?
I mean, well, I was watching.
Is it just the thrill of it?
Yeah, it's the thrill of it, and also just having the original is enough for some people. Because I watched something where they were talking about if you buy an expensive painting, you can then authorize a replica and then put the original in storage and have the replica up on your wall. And I'm just like, just that's pointless.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh yes, I'm so happy I've got the original in like a storage locker somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you'd look at it and you'd be picking apart the details and be like, if you're a big art guy, you'd be like,
if I owned a famous painting, I would put it on display. I'd put it in like a
Glass
proper like
case or
frame
whatever.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
protected and stuff. But like, it's not just like, what's the point?
No.
If you're gonna put up a replica, just don't fucking buy the original.
This is exactly what I said. Yeah, I was like, get someone to do a really good copy. Don't claim it's the. I mean, part of it's the bragging rights, isn't it?
Yeah, but you could say to people, "Oh, this is a replica. I've got the real one in storage."
And then they'd be like, "Well, I've got the real one in storage."
And you're like, "No, you got one of my replicas, bitch." But you can buy like.
Is that the that film with Harrison Ford?
What? You could buy like an A. You don't even need to get like a professionally made one. You can get like an A2 print of like Van Gogh sunflowers.
You can tell the difference between a print and a painting if you get close enough.
Yeah, but you'd put it away, so it's like, you can't go too close. This is worth $1 billion.
It's the end of a corridor with a load of red ropes.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, don't get too close.
You got a little telescope at one end.
Like, so you can see the details.
No, it's not that good.
A broken telescope.
Yes.
And you'll be like, oh, sorry, you can't use it.
It's an antique telescope.
the real one's back there.
It's at the end of the
corridor. he's got a corridor next to this corridor in a secret door that's got the real painting and a real telescope to look down. Only he's allowed in there. Oh. But yeah, anyway, he was caught.
Yeah,
he stole $1.4 billion worth.
Yeah.
It took him 6 years to get caught. He was stealing for 6 years, and he was just stealing consistently for 6 years.
Yeah,
I think maybe he had a little bit of an obsession, and
I think it was, like you say, the thrill of it, and probably like he liked the idea of collecting them. And maybe not even really appreciating them. Maybe he'd get them out and look at them and go, oh, yeah. Or maybe he'd do something else, put a fez on and, get the Hoover out.
Oh, what?
I wonder if they cleaned them when they got them back.
Yeah, probably.
It'd be really stressful, wouldn't it? If you own one of those paintings and it was taken.
Do you remember the guy that repainted Jesus?
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest things.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad. I
don't even know what
better.
the story is behind that.
It was like the painting was like flaking and stuff. So they got a professional in to like touch it up to restore it. And they just fucked it up and kept making it worse. And no, it's just like a smudged face.
It looks so bad, yeah.
And like some like art pieces do look like that intentionally, but you look at the original of this painting, it's just Jesus's face. He doesn't look like this.
No, it ends up looking like a sloth. It's so It's so bad. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, painting can be pretty hard,
Yeah.
It says grandmother destroys religious work of art. Maybe it was a grandmother.
Yeah, I think it was actually, now that you've said it.
I think so.
They give the difficulty for this 6 out of 10. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, they say like it's not exactly like, bank or vault security. It's museum security, which, quite often you can stand pretty close even if you're not supposed to and all that.
At night, it's literally just Ben Stiller. So... It's easy. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, well, he's got that big dinosaur that runs around.
Yeah, but he can only turn left. Oh no, he can't turn left.
Is that part of that?
No, it's part of the Zoolander.
Not the dinosaur can only turn left. I was like, I don't remember that part of it. Yeah, if you plan your heist accordingly, all right turns. No.
Yeah. all
You
left.
can't turn left.
Yeah,
So
so just all left turns.
All left turns.
Like he'll be chasing you, turn left, but he's got a cool spin thing.
But eventually you'd end up back where you started, and then you put it back and you run away.
Or what? Unless like each turn is like 45 degrees rather than 90.
I mean, you'd still.
Yeah, but I imagine.
Oh, but you could do once you've done one left, you can turn right because he can't follow you.
Yeah, true. There you go.
I feel like we're building up like a mega heist from all these heists.
Yeah, I remember having this. Firstly, is this a heist? Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
kind of.
It's not a fun one. It's not what George Clooney would do.
No, I feel like it is verging on like a robbery.
Yeah,
because he's not. From the sounds of it, he's just walking and he's cutting out, rolling it up, and walking out with it under his arm.
I feel like heist needs some sort of intelligence and planning.
This is just a guy like risking it, basically, isn't it? Yeah.
So I can't remember if this was with you or if someone else had this discussion like last year. I don't think it was with you, but we were discussing what is the biggest thing you could steal.
This sounds familiar, but I don't think it was me.
And
maybe you talked to me about it afterwards. Maybe
because we talked about different big things you could steal, and I think we concluded.
What is in like the biggest thing that one of us could really actually go and steal?
Well, no, because it's not like I could actually steal and theoretically.
No, well, according to this episode, you could
theoretically.
Oh right, okay.
Okay, so what do you think is the biggest thing you could steal theoretically if you were in an Ocean's film?
A giraffe from a zoo.
You're going to steal a giraffe from a zoo? Yeah. Okay. I like that you were like, obviously a giraffe from a zoo.
I was going to go elephant, but I feel like,
I think I concluded that I would steal the skeleton of the blue whale in the Natural History Museum.
Take it apart and put it in a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think mine really counts properly. I'd be able to get it off the zoo property, I reckon.
See, what I was...
What's the security like at zoos?
I don't have ever seen security at a zoo.
No, I mean, they're probably not there in the daytime.
Probably just, it's like Mr. Burns. It's like, release the lions. That's the security.
No, but there must be like a Ben Stiller type that walks around at night.
Oh, imagine.
Night watchman, that's what they're called.
That'd be pretty cool.
Night watchman. Like the watchman, but at night time.
Who watches the watchman?
When they're asleep in bed at night. I think they do a lot of stuff at night, don't they?
I imagine most of the animals would be asleep.
Oh, they're doing an animated Watchman thing. That was SDCC that I didn't mention.
Nice.
And they're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths, which everyone says is just like annoying and shit.
Yeah, fair enough. So the next one, let's move on.
Yes.
And this is Tory. Yeah. And he goes back to November 24th, 1971.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Eve.
Portland International
And
Airport.
This is the one where it's a reenactment, as they often do, but he's also in the reenactment watching and taking pictures of the guy. It's DB Cooper.
It's DB Cooper, yeah. I think most people will have heard the name at some point, I'd imagine.
I think I knew the gist of it. I also have read theories that Tommy Wiseau was DB Cooper.
Yeah. I've heard that. I don't think the ages work out. I know Tommy Wiseau is a bit hard to place.
But this is 50 years ago.
It's 50 years ago. And this guy, I mean, the guy they choose to play him is a weird version for him because he's quite old. He's probably in his 50s maybe or late 40s.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of the age they said, but he didn't look like the picture at all.
No, he didn't.
Anyway, this is at a time where there was pretty much no airport security.
Yeah, you just show your ticket like a bus ticket and go get on the plane.
You can just buy it, and I don't think they even use because it's within the States. You can just say, "Oh, my name's this," and they just write it down, and then they give you the ticket. Yeah, like a bus ticket. Yeah. And it's $20, and Tory's like, "Oh,
$20.
It's almost like things were cheaper back in the day."
Yeah, but it's not that much. Like, so they say it's like a 45-minute flight. That's like flying from like Gatwick to like Manchester.
Yeah,
you could do that. A one-way ticket.
They don't have a very good train system in America.
No, but you could get a flight from Gatwick to Manchester on like EasyJet for like 50 quid.
You reckon? Yeah.
So like,
Which is cheaper than that.
yeah,
$20 in
1971.
Yeah, it is.
So like, Tori was shocked, but I don't think it was that shocking.
I guess he's just thinking plane tickets.
Yeah, plane tickets be expensive. You're
Yeah.
fucking flying to Fiji, Tori. But it wasn't even leaving the state.
Yeah.
But when they go around, he's very tightly holding onto his briefcase on the plane. He's like, no.
Yeah, they make him out to be like a real like scared, nervous guy, and I feel like every time I've heard the story, he's always kind of like chill and mysterious.
Chill,
Actually, the start of the Loki series, I think he's DB Cooper in one of those little.
Yeah, he is,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've always imagined him a bit more like that kind of smooth, suave kind of, but like he looks like a bit of a weird alien dude. But like
that's the drawings.
Maybe
a weird alien. But everyone on the plane is smoking as well because it's the 70s.
That's quite funny. Yeah.
And at one point, the air hostess comes past, and DB Cooper passes a note to her.
Yeah, and she's like, "Ooh,"
and she's like, "Oh," puts it in his pocket. He's like, "No, read it now." And he opens up and says, "I've got a bomb in my briefcase."
Yeah, like sit down next to me, and then he takes the note back, which I thought was quite funny. I guess to cover his tracks. Or
he didn't even
whatever.
need to give her a note. He could have just said it to her.
And then she's like, "Have you really got a bomb?" And then he opens his suitcase, and it's like the most cartoonish
It's
bomb.
literally like
TNT sticks.
Like, yeah, with a little timer on it, like from fucking Wile E. Coyote.
Acme Inc. or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says like, "Tell the pilot,
tell the pilot
there's a hijack."
There's a hijack. Hijack.
Tell the pilot, Jack. Hi.
But he says he's demanding $200,000, 4 parachutes, and a dinner for the crew.
Yeah.
My first thought was, surely dinner's already on the plane. But I forgot the second part of this plan.
Yeah, because and
air traffic control. Like the pilot calls into air traffic control, and they're like, "Stay in the air whilst we figure it out."
And they're circling for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a 45-minute flight.
And the customers are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
I guess also like in the early 1970s. Like commercial air travel still pretty new, isn't it? Because what was it, like 60s it started?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe late 50s, but like, proper commercial travel. So a lot of people probably wouldn't have been like that au fait with what's going on. But after 2 hours, you'd be like, hang on, mate, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I've got a fucking train to catch.
Yeah.
The FBI are getting ready, and he's like, back in the day, the FBI just got the money together for terrorists.
Yeah, the policy for skyjacking was just give in to the demand. And this was one of the ones that changed things for policy and for security and stuff like that. Because there was a couple of copycats after this. There was one where this guy basically did the same exact plan as DB Cooper like 6 months later. He got caught because I think he buried his parachute like near where he lived or something stupid like that. But
I saw a really cool bit of trivia. I'm going to see if I can find it. Yeah. I mean, hijackings were super. So actually, is another fact that came up by accident. Between 1968 and 1972, 130 American airplanes were hijacked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's like 30 a year.
And this is kind of getting to the point where I guess they're like, fuck's sake. And I guess because this one, I mean, spoilers for anyone who doesn't know about DB Cooper, isn't a resolved case. So if it's one where they didn't recover the money, they're kind of like, right, a couple more of these and we're going to have to change our bloody outlook on this. And that's why by like 1972, they probably cracked down on it a bit more. Let's just watching TV next to me.
And I'm trying to find it. I think it's a TikTok that had this cool facts that I'm trying to
about
find.
DB Cooper.
No, it's just about hijack. I think it was something along the lines of like more people hijacked a plane in the 70s in America and then hijacked a plane again in the 80s, like the same guy doing both, than have walked on the moon. or have been to the moon. I don't think it was the moon. I think it was something more like.
I think that makes sense. Not that many people have been on the moon, have they?
Yeah, that's why I think that was I think it's also like more people have walked on the moon than have done this. So I don't know. I'm not gonna find it. That's the fucking thing with TikTok. So
That's okay. I mean, if you find it again later, maybe
I will
if
never find it.
Fair. Okay, well, don't worry then. So the second 2 hours, they give in to the demands. They touch down at some other Seattle area, isn't there?
Yeah.
And 38 hostages get released, as he said, and he keeps the bare crew of like 4 people.
Yeah.
That's needed. The acting is fucking really bad in this one.
Yeah.
Like the guy who they picked to play him, he's like a bloody wooden board.
He really is. I guess he's meant to be doing that, but
yeah, but the interactions are real stilted, and like there's a bit where Tori's like, "This is the first clue that we have to his identity," and I was like, "What? Like we don't know who he is. This just because there's a bit of information, it doesn't mean it's a clue to his identity because you don't know what the identity is."
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's because he gives a load of detail about the height that they should fly and the speed and all that. He sounds like he knows about aeronautics, flying planes.
Yeah, and right. So they come to this conclusion now at this point where they're like, he must have known about airplanes.
Yeah,
because he's giving us advice. We'll come back to that. The plane leaves with DB Cooper and the crew members. He opens stairs at the back of the plane.
Yeah, so the specific type of plane that he chose to use is one that could open its hatch
at the
mid-flight.
Back, like Air Force One.
Yeah, or like
the film Air Force One with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that's based on the real Air Force One.
Yeah.
Or any film where someone jumps out of the back of like a military helicopter plane.
But he jumps out with 2 parachutes and the money and disappeared. Was never seen again. There's sketches drawn of him, but nobody's seen him.
Yeah.
But then so there's investigation with no success for 4 decades.
The guy that they talk to is Citizen Sleuth team leader. And I'm like, they were like
Facebook group.
They were like somebody has been tasked with doing this, and it's like nobody's fucking tasked them with this. This is true crime people who want to fix it.
Yeah,
like, who want to
Tom Kay, and they're talking about how modern science has looked at the details, and they said the tie can tell us where he came from, and the tie. You don't wash a tie, so it still had clues on because he left his tie behind, and it had titanium metal that's used in airliners. So after 40 years, we figured out he worked with airplanes.
Yeah, and it's like
we fucking knew that
already.
That's the one thing we knew.
I think it is backing up that clue, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, come on. He said it's some big reveal.
Yeah, the way they lead into it is if they know what it is, and I was like, cool, I'm excited. I know this program came out like almost 10 years ago now, but about what 7 years ago. But it's like I didn't know they found out already. Yeah, because he left his tie and some cigarettes, and we're like, oh, which one are they going to use? Yeah, use the tie. And they also mentioned that there's a Canadian comic book character called Dan Cooper, which is the full name he gave. And
who also like jumped out of a plane,
with some money, and they're like, it's exactly the same. So this guy's Canadian. Like maybe,
maybe.
And it's also because he asked for the money in American dollars, which makes them think that he's not American. Well, that's not true, is it?
So when we do our heist, what we should do is
ask for it in a different currency so they think we're from that place.
No. Specifically ask for it in Great British Sterling, but we'll do it like dressed as Wolverine. So then they'll be like, he likes Wolverine. He must be Canadian. And he asked for Great British Sterling, so he can't be English.
And we'll do accents.
Yeah.
We could dress as Wolverine. I was going to say we don't need to dress as Wolverine, but it's a good disguise.
Just leave a Wolverine comic behind.
There we go.
Because, as people know, you're only allowed to read comics from your own country.
I mean, it is 1971.
Yeah, but still, Canada's like basically America.
Yeah, basically. You hear that, Canadians?
Take that, Canada.
They're North Americans.
Yeah,
they can't deny that. You can't try and deny it, Canadians.
they share a lot of stuff with America in TV and sports and film, and there's a very loose. I mean, to us, you always see Americans take the piss of Canadian accents.
Yeah, but like
generic Canadians sound like Americans.
I mean, especially like Toronto and places that are not like a stone's throw away.
Like
from...
there's like the whatever parallel line that's like the Canadian American border. across most. Like 50% of Canadians live south of that line because all like Toronto and Montreal is in the bit that ducks down at like the Great Lakes.
Right.
So
I
like
see what you mean. Yeah,
they are pretty Canadian and American. Oh, I have had a couple of times where I've met Canadians in Brighton and just assumed they were American until they're like, "No, I'm Canadian." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
Like, even better. This guy is like whatever that loser guy's called. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna shake this guy's hand when I find out who you are." I'm like, first of all, this guy is dead. This guy is 100%
well
dead.
This was like 50 years ago.
Unless he had like prosthetics on his face.
And like, well, which
and
is
he was
unlikely.
like 18.
But like from the sketches of DB Cooper,
he looked
the youngest he could be is like early 30s.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 35,
so he's at least in his mid 80s.
Yeah.
He could be alive, but
he could be, yeah.
Chances are he's not.
And the other thing is the theory that no one wants to really latch onto is that his parachute didn't go off, or he crashed into the sea, or probably not the sea. I clearly don't know where the sea is anywhere because I keep saying it's everywhere. But,
everywhere's the sea.
I mean, it is over here. I'm in the sea right now.
But yeah, anyway, he stole in today's money $1.2 million.
Yeah.
It's not that much for such a big, famous thing.
Yeah. I mean, all he had to do, it's basically like you say, it's just getting on the bus and then being like, hey, give me some money. And then he jumped out the back of the bus, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if he's like ex-military and he loves parachuting, which I assume, then.
Time spent 45 years plus.
Yeah, or he's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
I mean, I do think the fact that this was, again, is this a heist? It's a hostage situation.
It's not a heist. It's
God,
not a heist.
Damn it. I had this as my number one.
It's not a heist. It's a hostage situation.
Yeah.
This is a classic robbery where he's got in and been like, if you give me the stuff or you're going to die. Yeah. That's not a heist.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a fun story.
I think it's one of the better ones. It's the mystique and the allure of the fact that he's not being caught. Is the
not a heist though.
No. Fuck. So only like 2 of these are actually heists.
And he says
maybe only one of them's a heist. Oh my god!
What have we had so far? Carbonatic's not a heist. Grandad's is a heist. And
painting's not a heist.
Not a heist. And this not a heist.
So we've got 2 more, and one is literally the shortest bit of any of these ever.
Right. Okay. we got another one that's not a heist. The next one. They say it's a 7 out of 10 difficulty because airport security was a piece of piss.
I think the parachuting adds, even if you're experienced at
I don't think the airport security is like the main point of this. Like,
no, it's the danger of like the FBI or CIA or whoever were involved.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's the parachuting off a plane and hijacking a plane. That's the hard bit.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Carrie and DB Tuba.
Is it this one or is the Bill of Rights one next?
No, it is the Bill of Rights first because this all was in 2 parts.
Oh, is it? Is it?
No, the DB Cooper one.
DB Tuba, yeah.
No, DB Cooper was in 2 parts with the Bill of Rights in between.
You're
Basically, it's Grant. It's the end of the Civil War.
This one was like real nothing.
Yeah, and there's 14 original copies of the Bill of Rights. The first, I want to say 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
And then as the Civil War is going on, an unknown soldier steals a copy from the archives in some southern state.
Yes, North Carolina, I think they say it was.
Yeah, he sells it a year later for $5,
which is $75 in today's money.
Yeah.
And then in like
it sold for $2,000 to a guy from the American version of Antiques Roadshow.
200,000.
200,000.
I wrote down.
Okay, cool.
He bought it, and then this is in like 2012 or something, isn't it? Or like 2005 or whatever. It's like fairly recent. And then he's called Wayne Pratt.
What a Pratt.
Funny name. And he tries to like sell it to a gallery for $4 million or something.
Yeah, but the FBI turn up and they're like, nah, we're having that back.
Yeah, and then they're like, he avoided jail by donating it back to the state that it was stolen from. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, is that how it worked? I mean, I guess he didn't actually steal it himself. But if he said like, no, I'm going to keep it, would they have just put him in prison? Surely it's an obvious option.
Yeah.
I guess he was 200 mil down.
But it's now worth
$200,000.
$100 million because nothing makes something more valuable than it being stolen for a while.
Yes.
They said difficulty 1 out of 10 because the soldier literally walked in and took it and walked off. So
so
easy.
surely by that logic, the art thief should be 1 out of 10 as well, because that's exactly what he did.
Well,
every
I think
time.
the museums had security. I think their point here is that it didn't have
security. But yeah, it's still that affects that ranking surely as well.
Yeah. Amount $75.
Shit.
Yeah. And they never said the time. They never. I went back and watched it again.
Yeah. I think that they're supposed to say that it's supposed to be from 1860, whatever it was, all the way through.
1865 to like 2005, so 140 years.
Yeah.
But
that's what they're implying.
I would have said it's like a year because the soldier sold it a year later.
Yeah. And the Wayne guy like fucks up as well. Yeah, no, that one's shit. And I don't think that even counts as a heist either.
That's not a heist. It's a basic robbery.
I think there's only one heist in this.
So fucking difficult. We had just as many heists in the Scam Masters episode.
This next one is almost a heist. Like there's a cool element to it, right?
But it's not a heist.
But it's not, and it's funny. The one bit's funny that So this follows on chronologically in the episode from the end of the DB Cooper thing, and carries like
Tuber.
Which I thought is because it was the second DB Cooper, like tuber.
Yeah,
it's not. It's tuber.
Tuber.
Because he gets in a rubber ring, which
they call rubber rings tube.
Tubing, yeah.
Tubing.
Yeah.
Rubber ring.
Yeah.
But basically, in 2008, 2008, I've written 2008 man leaves crime scene.
Yeah.
Basically, classic story: guy who was captain of the football team and dated the prettiest girl at school. I think it's weird when people talk about that. Like she's 16. How do you know she's the prettiest girl at school?
Well, they looked at a picture and went, "That little girl, hot."
Yeah, that's fucking weird, right?
Hey, that girl, it's the girl next to her, not hot. That girl, hot. This guy, cool.
Yeah. And he had the perfect life.
And he had a big dick as well. That's what I heard anyway.
But then he got a knee injury and had to quit football.
And started doing drinking and drugs.
I feel like before the drinking and drugs, this is like the all-star sports player who had the best girlfriend and then had a knee injury is the origin story of every PE teacher in the country. Every single one of them would have made it professional at their chosen sport until they got a knee injury when they were a teenager.
Yeah. I mean, the drinking and drugs probably applies to
probably
a lot of them as well.
But he turns to drinking drugs. He gets deep in debt.
Yeah, that's not so cool.
And then one day he's chilling out, relaxing.
Maxing all good. He's not shooting b-ball because of his knee injury. Although, it can't be that bad because he's pretty active in this.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like with American football injuries,
it'd be hits,
and it's like if you get hit hard, your knee would like shoot off or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not your kneecap literally flying off. But yeah, he notices something like the loading the money into the bank or something.
Yeah. I've seen this stuff happen before. I used to work at Tesco and we used to have it where like guys would come in, they'd just walk in carrying like
and they've
bags.
got like the helmet on.
Yeah, and they'd come in and you'd let them into like the cash office and stuff and they'd do it there. But like they usually have one person standing outside with the van and it's like it would look pretty easy to steal.
Yeah. I mean, especially, no, I was going to say if you like got a knife, but I was like, I don't want to get into it too much. I was going to say you can probably cut their necks.
Oh, God. No, that's just no.
This episode's going to come back in some sort of way. I mean, I'm not planning on. I find that quite disgusting, but I was just thinking because of the helmets, you can bash them on the head.
I was thinking do it sneaky style, like Assassin's Creed, jump in a bush.
Well, cut the necks.
No. Grab the bag and then go jump in a bush, and then we'll be able to find you.
Or do what this guy did.
But also, when I went to Tesco, these bags were full of like change. It was change for the tills.
Oh.
So it was literally like...
I'm really heavy.
Really heavy. And I mean, maybe each bag's got like £1,000 in it, but like,
Yeah, but
it's not a big bag of notes.
No, not like what it seems to be in this, because he attempts to steal a fair bit.
So he stakes out like the bank for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And he's got no gun. It's broad daylight. This bit was funny.
They say no gun, but doesn't he shoot something up in the air? Maybe he does like a banger or something to get there. Well, it doesn't matter, don't
This bit's quite funny. A few days before, he sets up a fake job advert.
Yeah, this is really cool.
And asks for people to...
It's like a city cleanup thing.
Yeah, and he's like, just wear blue with a high vis and meet at the bank.
Yeah, I think it said like a black cap or something as well.
Yeah.
So that they can all find each other, but it's basically duplicates of what he'll be wearing.
And they turn up and there's 15 of these guys standing there like, what?
Yeah.
What? And then he like takes his chance and runs and grabs the money.
Yeah.
But as he does that, the guard like grabs his jeans and pulls them down.
And he's got Velcro trousers so that he could strip off into his brightly coloured outfit.
I know it's brightly coloured shorts.
See his shorts, yeah.
And he drops one of the bags when he's running away. And
it's like half of his heist.
Do you reckon he was like drunk and high when he was doing this?
Maybe, yeah. Although it's not like it's not a crazy complicated plan. I mean, to be fair, the next bit you probably have to be high to make up. To be fair,
yeah. So he takes off the disguise in the park and just leaves it there.
Yeah, because they basically say he's not had any criminal records. So if they get DNA from it, they shouldn't have anything to match it with. So he's happy to just chuck it on the floor.
And he gets to like a river and there's a rubber ring or a tube. They just call it a tube.
Yeah. Because it's the inner tube of a tire they used to use.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. Yeah. Like, you know, when you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's what you'd use before they became like commercialized things. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
So it makes sense. Yeah.
But he escapes in the rubber ring, goes down. He meets an accomplice that he's got, and jumps in the back of his car. After they kind of set off, he then takes the tracker out the bag.
Yeah,
which should have done that at the park.
With the tubing bit, it goes in like a river that goes underneath the road, I think. Yeah. So I thought that was quite cool. Like, it's really stupid because he's pulling himself along and he looks like a drunk guy on like spring break or whatever. Yeah, he gets in the car. Yeah, chucks away the GPS. Surely at that point they would have just been following the GPS.
Yeah,
a bit silly.
But he kind of gets away, but the DNA did get him after all.
This bit's quite funny because basically, there's like when he was doing his practice, some old guy. Do they say something about a homeless person as well?
Yeah,
but that doesn't tie into it.
Yeah,
so basically, some like old guy saw him acting suspiciously and changing clothes, and reported his number plate to the police.
Yeah,
and so when it came up that there'd been a robbery in that area, they followed him for a while, and then they waited till he threw away a cup and then took a DNA sample, matched him. I was like, that's like bang on. Like, that would be like the kind of shit that you wouldn't see coming. You would be like, fucking hell.
And then a month later, they got that DNA sample and they got him. So he stole $400,000 worth.
Yes. And he was 34 days until he got 34 days,
difficulty 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think even lower than that. Like, all he did was run up and grab a bag and leg it.
Exactly. I think the planning side of it was okay. Like for what it was. It was a well planned robbery.
It sounds like the sort of thing that the sort of plan that we'd make up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not.
It's not like particularly impressive.
No. I mean, the fact that he got away for 34 days is pretty good. For such a kind of basic plan, but it's not.
I guess they could have got him earlier. It was just waiting game to get the DNA.
That's true. Yeah, they probably didn't see him throw away his McDonald's cup.
So on this episode of Heists, we've had one heist. So we'll go through their rankings.
Yeah, we'll go through their rankings, and then we can do our own. We should do our own rankings anyway, even though they're not heists. We'll still do what they are.
So we'll start in 6th place of their rankings. They had the Bill of Rights in 6th because it was shit. They 5th they had DB Tuber.
Yes,
he was the kid who went on the rubber ring.
Yeah, they say it's pretty good for low risk, but caught quickly. They said.
Yeah, on 4th they had the Heist.
Mm-hmm. They say it's the highest difficulty, but caught in 2 months is a bad thing. I don't agree with that.
3 is Look at That Van Gogh.
Yeah, I just read Art Guy. They basically just say the 2 stats. They don't really say why they put it there.
2, DB Cooper.
Yeah, they say he's still at
one.
large, which obviously not. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he might be in a large in an armchair somewhere. But...
And 1, the Carbonate Gang.
Yes.
So basically, they put their top 2 as the 2 that haven't been caught yet.
Yeah, which I think I can see why.
Yeah.
But and money, what like. They're both impressive, to be fair, but in different ways.
Yeah, because when everyone else has been like, you've been caught off this time, their number for that is like infinite. So it kind of skews the weighting.
That's true, actually.
But that, I mean, the one heist came in 4th.
Yeah.
I
wrote down my own ones.
Okay,
afterwards.
you do yours because I haven't done mine yet.
So I put Carbonac in 6 because I immediately was like, this isn't a heist. It's the first one that I was like, this is clearly not a heist at all. The other ones, there's elements of heist. There's in-person stuff. I know it's like it's a new type of heist or whatever, but it's not really a heist. So yeah, I put that. It's clean, but it's not really exciting kind of thing. Then Bill of Rights at 5 because I can see that there's an element of heisting, but it's shit and it's boring.
Yeah.
I put DB Tuber as 4 because I like the disguise bit, but the getaway and getting caught in that way is a bit stupid, really.
Yeah.
Then I put the Art Guy, even though I don't really like this one, but he did get a lot of stuff and he kept doing it for ages and he didn't get caught for a while, but he didn't sell anything. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
you know, it's like if they got a load of chips in Ocean's 11 and then just went, oh yeah, we've just got all these chips now. It's like, well, they're not worth anything on. Then I put Hatton Gardens at 2nd because it's a great story and they did almost get away and it's like a classic heist. Then I put DB Cooper as number 1 before I realized it wasn't a heist because that's like classic and it's got that kind of mystique and air of mystery around it.
Okay, so I figured out my rankings kind of as you started.
Okay.
In 6th place, I'm gonna agree with them and put the Bill of Rights because it's just a bit shit.
Yeah, it's rubbish. There should have been another. There's got to be another heist they could have put in there, like the Ocean's 11 heist.
There's got to
put a fictional heist in.
Number 5.
Imagine they're like, number 1, the heist where Danny Ocean got all those guys together. Oh, Don Cheadle's accent.
Don Cheadle's
is
terrible
so
accent.
bad.
It is.
Bloody hell.
Really, really bad.
He's literally like that. That's what he sounds like.
Number 5, I'm gonna put the Carbonate Gang because I mean, we haven't got to the heist yet, but also I doubt the credibility of this. Like, even if there's stuff like this going on, like this specifically, I don't think there's enough evidence to even know this exists. So I think this is just like, hey, we made up the story that would be cool. It might as well be. 4th, DB Tuber because it's fun, but it's also a bit dumb. 3, Look at That Van Gogh because it's whatever styles and paintings. 2, DB Cooper, fun classic story, and then 1 I'll put the actual heist.
I was tied between those first 2, so we've got 6 and 5 the other way around and 1 and 2 the other way around. Fair enough,
but
pretty much agree.
Why the fuck would you like call it like robberies?
Yeah, like
great robberies.
Or most of the titles have been longer than one word in an exclamation mark. Call it heists and robberies, or robberies and heists.
But this is a running problem with this.
They don't know what they don't know what they're doing with this program.
Yeah,
they really don't.
So like episode 1, right? I'm gonna get the
episode 1 was cool. It was superhero power at the time.
Yeah, but even then, some of them weren't proper superpowers.
It
was it?
Yeah,
it was like.
No, the one where it was like, you could be invisible, but instead we're going to show you that if you put your hand between 2 prisms, like 1
the
millimeter,
light will bend round.
You can't see it. If you move it further, you could see it.
Yeah. So it has some bullshit.
Yeah.
The second one was Jailbreak, where half them weren't a jailbreak. One was literally like escaping East Germany.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure there was another one that was like just not a jailbreak.
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
There was the drug guy in America that should have won, but they didn't want to be like, hey, this guy's cool, who dug the hole underneath.
Oh yeah, El Chapo. Yeah,
El
yeah,
Chapo,
yeah.
And then the crazy World War II weapons.
That was probably the one that it was mostly what it was. I mean, like
was that the episode where they made people go to sleep and they were going to secretly go in? You know, we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Thing. We talked about that, but I couldn't find any any record of it because I searched invasion and I searched sleep in my notes and it didn't come up with anything.
Right, maybe it's not that then. But yeah, that one was actually had some crazy World War II weapons.
Yeah,
I can't remember all of them.
Well, the one that was probably least like it was there was like the stink bomb, like bum spray, and the Hitler hormone one.
Oh,
like, they were both like not really weapons.
The hormone one was stupid, and that episode was particularly homophobic and transphobic.
It was, yeah. But in terms of the like the topic and what they were trying to go for, they were kind of the most on the mark. I would say
scam artists
was like
Ponzi,
it was
card
okay,
game, and there was some that we were like, what?
I've tried to search for the crazy World War II weapons, and I don't know if this is just my cookies, but the second result on Google is our YouTube episode, so that's pretty good.
Well, it's probably because, you know,
it's above a Daily Motion page where you can actually watch the episode. It probably is. It probably is my cookies.
But yeah, this show's got an ongoing problem of having like a cool title and not then doing stuff with like accurate to that.
Yeah.
So, right. Here's a fun game for you.
Right. Okay.
What is the most random? I'm going to read you the title of the remaining episode.
Yeah. No, we've talked about some of these, and yeah.
What's the most random thing you think they can include, like they have done so far,
or like make it up now?
Yeah.
Well, I know one of them includes selfie sticks in it, so I'm not going to say that.
So the next episode is "May G-Force Be With You." The team learns which adrenaline junkies get the biggest G4 rush from, like, it says bobsledders, race car drivers, and roller coaster riders.
Right.
Getting big G4.
So what other, like, things?
What ridiculous thing are they going to
The first thing that came to mind was, like, getting in a shopping trolley and going down a hill.
Yeah.
But then you said bobsled, and I was like, I kind of can't.
I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah. Or, like, falling off your chair.
Like that feeling from Inception. That's a real rush.
You know, to me, that one, the last few have been like the last four have been looking at historic things. That one should be more like the first one, the superpowered tech.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Yeah.
Then we've got Tech We Love to Hate.
I think that was the one that's selfie sticks in it or something.
Yeah. It mentions poorly timed traffic lights.
That's not.
That's gonna be.
That's gonna be such a boring one.
Tech We Love to Hate. What else would be there? A Roomba.
It is funny that the first part of that is just because they're in a room.
And what is the bar? What's a bar?
Bar.
Yep,
that's it.
Number 8. Where's my hoverboard?
Yeah.
So things that sci-fi has promised us that we haven't got.
I'm looking forward to that one. That would be.
But
I mean, for the hoverboard, they'll be like, "Oh, it's that thing that shoots water up, and you go in the air or whatever."
And it mentions holograms and X-ray glasses. What futuristic things like
lightsaber. They'll do like a robot cafe in Japan that has like because in quite a lot of places actually they have those robots that don't look like a person. They're like a big Roomba thing.
Yeah,
and they go around and they mop up or they watch for thieves or whatever. They can't do shit.
And then invented before its time.
This is the one with selfie sticks in it, I think, weirdly enough.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
so stuff that's actually invented before.
So like the Da Vinci helicopters and stuff.
Yeah. Did you know the lighter was invented before the match?
Huh? No, I didn't know.
Maybe they'll do that. But Joe, it'll be something like the computer. Did you know people had computers before the 90s?
Yeah. Or they'll
talk about like the Turing stuff in World War II. It'll be like.
Or they'll talk about the thing that Archimedes made in that historical documentary, Dial of Destiny.
And then finally, Speed Freaks.
Which is the same as G-Force Junkies.
Yeah. How do the fastest athletes alive stack up against high-tech cars and jets? Not very well. Who will win in a race? Usain Bolt or a Jaguar?
Yeah, I feel like Jet would have been better there. Like a rocket or this guy on a bike.
Yeah.
Why not put them together?
And the picture is Tori in a helmet in
He's already a bit of a helmet.
in something. But yeah, so we've got a lot to look forward to.
No.
we do.
Yeah, but it's just not any of those things you mentioned there.
But yeah, should we give a rating for this episode then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we should give a rating. I don't think this was as bad as some of them. I think it was okay.
No.
I think
there was less of them.
There was less of them, and the Hatton Garden, despite the farts and the old people jokes.
Yeah.
Pardon me, was like
I do.
It was a good kind of golden thread that went throughout kind of thing.
I do think it's got to lose points for being least accurate to the actual goal of the episode.
Yeah. I'm
if you wanted to learn about heists and you watch this, you'd be very disappointed.
I think I'm kind of like I'm gonna go with a real boring answer, but I think I'm kind of straight down the middle with this one. Like it was okay.
8.
No, 5. This is when it's 8 straight down the middle.
It's the only one that's symmetrical.
Yeah, I was thinking of like an infinity symbol when you said that, because it's like straight down the middle of an 8. Like, but if it was turned sideways, or it's straight down the middle of an 8. If you cut that in half, it's 2 zeros.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, I think I'm going to go with 5 because I don't think it was enjoyable enough to go on the positive side of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it justifies a 4 in my head. I watched this in like 4 parts, to be honest.
Really?
Well, I just kept pausing it and doing. I was working from home and I'd like have a little break and watch 10 minutes.
I watched it all in one go after we'd recorded.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I went home and watched it.
Night before last. Yeah. I mean, that's probably a better way to watch it, but I probably enjoyed it more than you in that sense.
I'm gonna give it a 5 because
okay, we enjoyed it the exact same amount. Then.
I don't think it deserves me putting any more thought into it. So 5 it is.
Copy what I said. Yeah, appreciate that.
For the same reasons you said.
Ditto.
Because it's White Rabbit, and we always complain about doing them, and then we do another one.
Yeah, and I mean, the good thing about it is it is like the bottom of the barrel for our stuff.
It's the easiest thing to watch.
It's real easy to watch, and it gives us, because there's only 40-minute episodes, or maybe a little bit longer. It gives us time to chat shit, and know.
As you guys have probably noticed, we can go off way more tangents.
Oh
on
yeah,
this.
totally, yeah.
But that is White Rabbit Project episode 5, which means we can now move on to our next part of the podcast, which is
personal projects.
And this time, it's personal
projects.
So, Sam, what have you been watching, reading, doing, creating, or painting?
I've been watching a couple of things. One which we'll talk about in a sec, which actually I meant to tease at the front of the episode, and I completely forgot to, but we'll get to that in a sec. I watched the first episode of Futurama season 11.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list of stuff to do. I was going to do it this week, but I ended up watching the other thing we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it definitely felt like a Futurama episode. It does a little bit of like, here's what's happened. It kind of links into the last episode that was before, and it kind of explains the gap a little bit and stuff.
Was the last bit the season long plotline with the weird pink people?
No, so there was a couple of season long ones, and then there was a couple of like, I think that was the end of one thing, and then it got rebooted again, and then it stopped, then it got rebooted again.
Right, so I don't think I've seen all of them.
Season 10 ended with an episode where everything froze, and Fry and Leela like live out their life.
Oh no, I have seen that. Yeah,
which is quite a nice episode. I quite like that one. And I think that one ends where it's kind of, you're unsure where it's going, and it's kind of, I think the professor comes through like a time portal, and he's like, oh, can we fix it? Are we going to go back or whatever? So it starts with that, and then it's like, oh, but 10 years have passed, and now it's 3023. So it's kind of caught up to where it would have been if it had carried on. which doesn't make any sense. The world's carried on, but it's also not carried on. It's
Yeah.
whatever. But it's quite a fun episode. It's quite kind of meta. It's about cancelling and rebooting stuff, and the main plot is like okay, but there's some fun jokes. Do you remember the scary door stuff that they used to do?
Me and the guy I used to work
Yeah.
with used to just watch clips of that constantly.
So there's a whole thing of that, but it's the scary mirror, so you can see what they're doing with that. It's a Black Mirror thing, and that's quite a fun little bit. There's some good jokes in it, and it is very self-referential. And they're doing one episode per week on Disney Plus. So
right, okay, I thought the whole
16 or
season was
so
out.
episodes.
Okay, I might
Yeah.
just watch the episode.
Just watch them as they go, which is not something that we really get much with any kind of series now, really, but especially like comedy series. And it's good. It's well worth a watch. I don't think anything feels that different, really. I think they probably updated maybe some of the voice actors, maybe, but nothing you'd notice at all. Yeah, it was good fun. Nothing like New Simpsons from what I've seen. Although New Simpsons I think is okay.
It's still not peak though.
No, but it was good fun. Yeah, I would recommend it, and I'll probably just keep watching through whenever I remember to click on it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Cool.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
I watched a film last week.
The Futurama movie.
Well, what is the opposite to the future?
The past?
Yeah, and what's the most recent past?
Yesterday?
Yeah, that's what I watched.
Nice. I got it.
Yeah, I watched yesterday.
Yeah.
The film about
Danny Boyle, isn't it? I
Danny
think.
Boyle.
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite fun. Like it's got like a romance story like intertwined with it, which I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
But
I watched it a couple of years ago. Yeah,
so you
I
have
have seen it. Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good fun, and I think like Ed Sheeran's in it quite a bit. He's quite fun in it.
He's okay. Yeah,
I quite like it, and when he's just like, "Oh my god, this guy's so much better than me," I was like, he's like self-aware, and I was like,
exactly. Yeah,
Ed Sheeran seems quite fun.
It's kind of a classic like guy isn't very successful, becomes successful by slightly dodgy means, and then it's like, is he going to be true to himself and his true love and all that?
Yeah. I did like all the Beatles stuff, him trying to remember the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, what is it like? He changes some of the words because he doesn't remember them and stuff.
Yeah, and Ed Sheeran gets him to change "Hey Jude" to "Hey Dude."
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And I obviously knew the premise of it. I didn't realize because there's a bit where he realized that Oasis also don't exist, and he's like, yeah, figures if the Beatles don't exist. But it's also then just like Coke doesn't exist and cigarettes don't exist, and he's like, oh, okay.
I don't remember those bits.
Yeah, there's a few bits where he just like starts googling, and it's just like, oh, and I think he gets given like a Pepsi, and he's like, what? And he goes to a restaurant and asks for Coke.
Yeah.
And they look at him like, what? And he's like, oh, Pepsi. But it's quite fun. And obviously, like the playing on the rooftops is a Beatles thing as well.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, it's quite fun, and they're great songs. So.
I feel like the kind of him doing the gigging and the festivaling and stuff at the start is quite like fun British film stuff.
Yeah,
it's all set. It's some seaside town somewhere, isn't it? A lot of I can't remember where,
like Kent or something.
It might be Margate, maybe then.
Yeah, I like the bit as well where he goes visits John Lennon and it's Robert Carlyle,
yes.
who looks a lot like John Lennon.
They've done a good job.
Done a really good job.
And what is it? He just became like a painter or something.
He was like a fisherman for a while, and just did his painting. It's like, oh, that's quite sweet.
Does it go back at the end?
No. So at the end, he announces to Wembley Stadium that he actually stole all these songs from these people. And everyone's just like, whatever. But I feel like people would be like, who? Who did you steal these from? Like,
I guess they're like, you didn't, because you're not naming who it is. It's like a fictional band, and it's like, well, you made them up. Then it's part of the whole mystique of it.
It's like how Tolkien always says that he's translating these stories into English for us.
What is it that there's some quite fun bits where like there's the conspiratorial stuff of like the people in the crowd that you keep seeing.
Yeah, I like
and they're the few people who still remember as well,
like
or something.
Two people turn up, and one of them's got a yellow submarine, and he's like, "You remember?" And he's like, he thinks they're gonna have a go at him, and they're just like, "No, we remember their songs too, but we can't sing." So it's just nice hearing the songs.
To hear it.
I was like, that would if like the Beatles disappeared and then it'd be like, okay, cool. Even if it's like, and then they say like they're not as good, but we still get to hear the songs.
Yeah. I remember thinking it was pretty good.
Yeah. I was also thinking as well, like he's struggling to remember a lot of songs. He remembers a fair few, but he then like releases or is going to release like a double album as like his debut album. It's like if I was the only person with access to the Beatles back catalog, I would spread it out.
Yeah, even like put them in with your own songs and be like, this album's okay, but it has a couple of standout hits.
You and like bands get by with like having 4 or 5 good. I've always said about Queen, like Queen are great, but half their albums are bang average.
Yeah, a lot of people listen to like
the singles,
the single or the compilation albums.
Yeah, if I had fucking Beatles back catalog, Beatles released like 13 albums. I could stretch that to like 30 albums of just put 2 or 3 songs in each one and just put filler, and you'd still be like hugely successful because it'd be like, oh, it's an okay album, but it's got a Here Comes the Sun and Hey Jude on it. Like,
what is it? Is it the bit where it's revealed at the start? Is it him? He's like playing it on the piano, and his parents are like,
"Oh
wow."
no, it's before he's with his friends, and he's saying he's going to quit music. One has bought him a guitar, and he's like, "Well, it's a nice guitar. I've got to play something good on it." And it plays Yesterday,
right?
And they're all like, "Wow!" And there's a funny bit where one was like. And he's like, they're like, yeah, it's pretty good. And he's like, pretty good. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. And they're like, all right. And then, he tries to play Let It Be to his parents on the piano, and they keep like interrupting. And he's like, come on, like you're about to hear Let It Be for the first time. It's quite fun. It's quite
they
funny.
get a lot of that kind of confusion and frustration quite well across, I think.
It would be weird. And also thinking like if he finds out Oasis don't exist, I'd look up like other bands that don't exist, because you could put the filler albums as like Oasis songs. You've got Oasis back catalogue as well.
And I guess it depends. It seemed like he was a big Beatles fan, and he knew a lot of their songs, and he used to play them as covers.
He'd at least know like Wonderwall or something. He plays an acoustic guitar. Of course he knows Wonderwall. But it was quite good fun. And I was like, I'd been meaning to watch it for ages, and I saw it on iPlayer, and I was like, okay, cool. Nice. But
nice,
it's fun. But the other thing I've been watching, which we'll talk about, is Secret Invasion.
Yeah, the latest Marvel MCU Disney Plus series.
Yes, so I watched the first 2 episodes like a couple of weeks ago, and then binge watched the last 4 yesterday.
Right. Okay.
Ironically, yesterday. So it did kind of split. Let's do general thoughts first.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, me too.
First 2 episodes, there's a reason I didn't watch it for a few weeks. The first 2 episodes, I was like, oh, this isn't actually fun. I thought Skrulls, Secret Invasion, lots of people changing, it'd be fun. But the first 2 episodes is basically like an old man who's not as good as he used to be and is worried about his place in the world, talking to another old man who's not as good as he used to be, worried about his place in the world.
And everyone's constantly going, oh, Fury, you were so much better before the blip, but now you're sad.
And then Talos, you were so much better back in the day, and now you're bad.
Yeah.
And they're the 2 main... And I was just like... There was a couple of fun scroll bits, but like... There wasn't enough fun scroll bits.
I think those...
the depressing old men.
Because they didn't do 2 episodes at once, did they? I think it was... Oh, you watched them late. Anyway, I think they released them weekly. So it really could have been... I think 2 at once might have hooked people a bit more. I know you stopped after the 2. But I feel like... Is it the first episode that ends with the bombing? Is that the first one? Or is that
the second
That
episode.
might be the second one. Yeah, that's the second one. Yeah. No, that is the first episode. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first episode... Yeah. I don't.
That's got a couple of bits, like when Fury shoots Maria Hill, and then revealed to be Garrick, and I was like, that's fun.
And that ending with the dirty bombs going off, and you're like, oh shit, like this could be a big scale thing. Yeah. It's like that, and the stuff towards the end is they kind of front and back ended it a little bit, but even then, I think some of the end was like.
Dull.
It was like, oh, we have to do a big superpower bit, so we're going to do a big superpower
final fight
bit.
is so dumb.
It was weird.
But I also found like the general like antagonists and like the general plot just to be not like that believable.
No, I felt like, especially when they start turning on Gravik, and it's like but then that never gets resolved either. I guess
Yeah.
everyone just left that place.
And it's like, I don't believe that they'd be able to set off this World War III. Like,
also,
it's never believable.
their plan was so bad. Why did they get Rhodey? We're doing spoilers. Why did they get Rhodey and not the president? Just once they've got Rhodey, then get someone else to get the president. They don't have to convince him. They just do all the stuff. They had the prime minister.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make it's all for the sake of the show. None of it would make sense to do as a plan at all.
No, they also, I know it's an American show. They really underestimate like the British defense because like a lot of it is set in England.
Yeah.
But like they kidnap the prime minister and replace her, no question. But you can't do the president. And then at the end, when they're like, "Oh, some innocent people get killed," and they see someone like shoot the prime minister outside 10 Downing Street and run off, it turns out to be actually her.
Yeah.
No fucking way could somebody shoot the prime minister outside 10 Downing Street and run off.
Yeah, but I feel like you could walk up with. This is not the right episode to be talking about this. But this is our
like,
criminal charges
Street's
episode.
like gated off. You need like the security pass.
Yeah,
to even
but she
get
was
to
standing
that
out. Yeah, just on the road.
Yeah, you need security clearance to stand outside 10 Downing Street.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
like, imagine if there was a show where there's the president standing outside the front of the White House, somebody shoots them and just runs off. People be like, "That's fucking bullshit."
Yeah, it's a similar thing.
But I thought like Garrick it was dumb. Like his whole thing of like, we need to fight back, and he keeps on going on to Talos.
Yeah,
that like, oh, we need to fight back, and it's like. They've established in this show that he was a kid when they got to Earth, and Talos had been fighting wars for Skrulls across the universe
for however long, because they once they get to adults they age like slowly. So this guy's been doing it for decades.
So like this guy,
like in an actual war against
this guy's
Kree.
actually been like at war.
He's like a general or whatever.
For decades. And this guy who's never been in a war is like, you don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
And they never address it. And I was like,
when they were like at the art gallery and he's like, the soldiers and the people, and he's like comparing them to like Winston Churchill and
it's like, you're not a fucking soldier. You were a kid when all the wars ended. Like, who the fuck do you think he is?
Yeah, I think the motivations for a lot of people, like also like Emilia Clarke's character was just like nothing throughout the whole thing. There was potential at the start, and when you kind of realize that she's working both sides and all that, it's like, okay, then they didn't really do anything with her for like the second half of this.
No, she sends a couple of texts.
Also, Nick Fury having a wife makes no sense at all.
Yeah,
I feel like there was some good moments within that.
I liked her as a character. I liked the fact she was a Skrull as well,
and she was kind of playing him, but like that she actually loved him and all that.
That bit where they don't shoot each other.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, hey, it's kind of like when you get to like season 5 of a show and someone's like, "Oh, this is my brother," and you're like, "Where have they been for the first 5 seasons?"
Thing, like
of this
she's
show?
like, "Oh, like you're away for the blip, and then you went to space to do like sit in a chair at the end of that Spider-Man film or whatever happened."
Yeah.
But it's like, but how often did you ever see him? Because he's always doing stuff. He's always like he's a spy. It's like when I was going to say Hawkman. When Hawkeye had a family, that's kind of like okay because he goes on missions and then he comes back.
Yeah.
Like Nick Fury or Fury. Apparently, if you call him Nick, then you're a Skrull. Which, to be fair, that's one of the scenes I did like when Rhodey has a big go at him because he's like, "Oh, you're trying to play on my sympathies because we're both like African American guys struggling and we've made positions of power." And he just like lays into him.
Yeah.
And then he says Nick, and then you can kind of see Fury be like, oh, "Okay, like I see what's going on here." And it's like there was good moments throughout, but I think every episode had maybe one moment that was okay.
Olivia Colman was a bright spark for us.
I liked her.
Every scene was with her was fun.
Yeah,
and like you never knew what. She was a good guy, but you never knew quite
like
what side
most
she was
of it,
taking.
you weren't really sure. It was only really like in the last 2 episodes, you're like, she wants the same
and
stuff.
she was just fun for a while, and she could just do loads of stuff because she's the British Nick Fury.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, and the fact that it was revealed that she wasn't even like the top of her agency because that guy who's Van Gogh in Doctor Who was the top guy,
Tony Curran.
Who's also in Daredevil as well, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's part of the Irish gangsters.
In something,
he is in something else.
He's in Lazarus. He was in the Lazarus Project, the film that we watched.
Oh, he might have been.
I think he was like someone in the place that Paul Walker gets sent. Because I remember saying that he was in Daredevil.
Yeah,
be.
I'm just looking up his filmography. So he was in the Lazarus Project film. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's one of those people that like I always recognize him as Van Gogh from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But he's been in loads of stuff. Oh,
Mm.
he was in X-Men First Class as well.
No, fair.
He was in Thor: The Dark World.
Wow.
Yeah,
Maybe he played the head of the British intelligence in that. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like so you don't have notes on every episode, do you?
No.
I don't really want to go through them too much. But like first episode, I like the opening with Martin Freeman was quite a fun bit.
Yeah.
And that was like when you see that he's a Skrull, it's like it opens the door for who else is a Skrull.
Yeah.
But then within like an episode or two, it becomes clear. Once you see that Rhodey's a Skrull, it's like, okay, so that's it then. And then in the final episode, when they went round and unlocked all the things, and you're like, so no one else is a Skrull?
Yeah.
And then they did find the basement with like the massive basement with like 100 people. I guess that's leaving it open for more people. Could be. But this is the time to do it.
I remember when
it's almost like this started the secret invasion and that's going to carry on now. It's a bit confusing.
I remember when this was like first announced, there was loads of online speculation of like, who's going to be turned out to be a Skrull the whole time? Like maybe Fury's been a Skrull since the 90s.
Exactly, yeah.
And like the Skrull is Rhodey.
Yeah.
But,
which is like it's okay, but they didn't also make it clear when.
And like he's a B tier Avenger, so it's not that exciting. And also, it seems to imply that he was only a Skrull for this series.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting to be like.
I think since Endgame is what people have said because he's in a hospital gown, so it might be after the battle,
right?
But his legs weren't working, so it's after Civil War.
Yeah, see, I was thinking of something like, Hawkeye's actually been a Skrull his entire life.
You have to be so careful because it undoes, like, if it was Hawkeye, all the stuff with Kate Bishop's undone because there's no relationship there.
They could have said that Rhodey's been a Skrull the whole time.
Since he was replaced by Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, someone that to have been a Skrull in something else we've seen is what I wanted, and we didn't get that.
And like, it was weird because like Maria Hill getting shot first episode, that never got undone, which was bizarre.
Yeah,
like
Maria Hill's just dead.
I guess Kobe Smulders is just like, I don't want to do this anymore, which is fair because she's never really had anything to do since the first Avengers film.
Yeah,
but like,
I do feel like though they should have brought back Phil Coulson.
Well, yeah, there was loads of people tweeting after, really disappointed that Daisy didn't show up because in the Secret Invasion comics, the Secret Warriors are formed as a result of this, and she's the leader of the Secret Warriors,
right?
Quakers, or she's part of it, whatever. But
yes,
it was just
loads and loads of missed potential. I thought this was gonna be like a top tier series, although I feel like the lack of there wasn't as much promo and stuff beforehand, as like Loki and WandaVision and stuff.
Yeah,
but I thought this was going to be a top tier Marvel series, and it ended up being like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's kind of on
it was
par
that
with
kind
that.
of. I feel like that. Yeah, the potential, even for a fairly grounded. I think my expectations were pretty low in terms of scale of like. I didn't think someone was gonna just show up and be like, "Hey, I'm here" or whatever. But like, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was okay. I just think it could have done much more. It cost like $220 million as well, which is
mad,
real bizarre. Like,
also, it's a story about Nick Fury, and like before this series, we know Nick Fury's in space doing Saber stuff.
Yeah.
And after this series, Nick Fury's in space doing Saber stuff.
Yeah.
So next time you see Nick Fury, you wouldn't have needed to see this at all.
And the really annoying thing is that I saw. They released the poster for the Marvels before this last episode, and Nick Fury's on the poster. So it's like either that's a prequel, which they've learned not to do now, at least not in the way they did with Black Widow, or he doesn't die in this. And surprise, surprise, the bit when he's going around coughing all the time in that thing, and you're like, "Oh, mate, come on, this is not him." And then it turns out to be, Amelia Clark, and I've got all the powers, and I keep them now. And
like that scene was there was.
I liked the hints of Super Skrull stuff. Like the first time you see it on the thing, and it's like you see it says Groot and Cull Obsidian and Flame powers, and you're like, okay, that's Fantastic Four powers. They're doing a secret Super Skrull thing. but it just didn't really come to anything.
And like there
when
was
they all had all the powers at the end.
Yeah, well, it's Emilia Clarke and Garrick fighting.
Yeah.
And it would just be one of their arms gets strong.
When it
and
turned
they
into
punch.
just Drax's
And
arm.
it was just Drax's arm.
Yeah.
And he had a bit of group powers at times, which was
yeah.
But
or they had Captain Marvel powers and they
was-
flew around.
their fight was basically be Captain Marvel or grow a big arm and punch.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got so much potential here.
The bit that made me groan so much was the mantis bits coming out of her head.
That made me laugh. So
I was like,
hell.
fucking, yeah. It was just, yeah, I'm just having to scroll through to see what.
Let's scroll through.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, I was quite excited about the Super Scroll thing, end of episode 2. That's when I
think Talos was wasted because I think
Yeah.
he was great in Captain
he was
Marvel.
he was
Like,
good in this, like the moments with him and Fury,
Yeah.
like the start of episode
like
2.
someone like the banter between
Yeah, when they're
them.
on the train and he reveals
Yeah.
that there's a million, and I love Fury just being like, "You out of your fucking reptilian mind? Like there's a million. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to protect you, not even
and
telling me
the
what's
bit
going
later on when they're in the car and he's talking about the amount of times he saved him and stuff.
and that was quite fun going in and doing the
But
like duo stuff.
For the most part, he's a sad old man and then he dies. And
Yeah.
it's like,
And when he
oh,
gets shot,
fuck's sake.
he gets shot in the arm, and for some reason he starts turning half scroll just so the president can see it.
Yeah.
Like even that bit was like one of the bigger action bits. It was just, yeah, it was. I'm just looking through.
And also,
blah,
like,
blah,
it
blah.
kind of it ended like the situation being worse than at the start. So it's like,
Well, yeah, that's
so it ended with like, oh, the world is at war with Skrulls now.
yeah.
It's like, okay,
I think the
I wanna
president's
see-
reaction was quite a realistic one for
Yeah.
what would happen, kind of thing.
but I'm
It's
like, well, why isn't that the series? Why did we watch this instead of that series? Why wasn't that the start?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't even have that much. It was kind of dumb that all the DNA of all the superheroes at Endgame was all in one little bottle,
yeah.
and he could just give it to someone. And the fact that why did Emilia Clarke, who was pretending to be him, bring the real thing there? I guess so that she could get powers, so she could beat him. Also, when he died, I'm pretty sure the extremis thing is supposed to stop you from having a hole blown in you. He was just like, if you blow a hole in me, you're the worst one ever. And then she blows the hole in him, and then that's it. There's no repercussions. She doesn't
Yeah.
seem to feel bad.
The whole little test tube full of all the powers seems like something they would have done on Shield.
Yeah.
but it would have been
the
fun.
and it would have been the whole series. Like, oh, I better stop the harvest from going into
Yeah.
Hydra's hands. I honestly think getting rid of Shield in the MCU is like one of the biggest mistakes they've made, because like even in this they don't mention Shield. Maybe they do, but they don't mention
It's like who
they
does
don't
Nick
mention
Fury work for?
They don't nobody.
'Cause-
Like, why is he allowed to do anything?
Yeah.
And they don't mention Sword, which is because is Saber's Saber and Sword. What are we? One's the space one. Is that Saber?
Yeah.
And then Sword, or is that Sword?
Maybe
Because the
that's
one
it.
that was the new Shield that was in WandaVision that Monica Rambeau worked for,
Yeah.
that they should have been involved in this somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. They didn't even say like we can't tell them because they've got scrolls in them or whatever.
Saber is a human scroll aerospace defense system.
Right. So
So that's what Fury's doing on. And Sword, I guess, is just Space Shield.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
like it was just a real shame. Like I feel like they had some good potential in this, maybe even more so than some other series. But
yeah.
but it was real clear within like a couple episodes that it just wasn't going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
I think,
it's
yeah,
such a shame.
It could have been a really good. It could have been a good film if you compressed this all down, took all the good moments of it.
But even then, I think you need to completely change like the villains.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
and maybe add in like a couple of superheroes. Set it at the same time as some adventure where they're all off in space. Do it after like Secret Wars,
Yeah.
and then
And like, they kept being like, "Oh, I'm not going to call in the Avengers because this is my mission." And it's like, "Oh, fuck off! You call in the Avengers for fucking anything? Like that's your whole
Yeah.
fucking job. That's why you put this team together."
yeah.
Like,
The bit you said about in the car when he's just like, mate, Fury, without me, like, you wouldn't have been anywhere. And I was like, he's got a fucking point. Like, it was like the Sparrows or whatever in Game of Thrones. Like, the Skrulls are his whole, like, secret workforce. And it's like, it's quite cool that although he is, it kind of undermines his power a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of takes away the mystery a bit of Nick Fury, which has always been like a strength of that character. Is like, how was he always so far ahead? How does he know all this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, it turns out to be Skrulls.
Yeah. And in the Spider-Man in Europe one, he's like, oh, I'm because of the blip, I'm really behind on everything. And it's like, yeah, but why? Like, and you're still behind. And then you went to space, you're even more behind. It's just,
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. What's the next one?
I was just looking it up. I couldn't seem to find it from this list because it comes up with like a load of random ones. First released, originally released. Oh, here we go. Loki season 2 is October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that could be okay.
Yeah, and just I wasn't as big a fan of Loki season 1 as lots of other people were.
No, I mean I like the kind of Doctor Who-ish kind of elements of it. I thought it was pretty fun. Then we've got Echo straight after. Which is, I think that's the one where it's all dropping at once or something crazy like that.
Yeah, because they haven't got much faith in it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I've heard people speculating that it's because Daredevil probably shows up like 4 episodes in. And they're like, if we release this weekly, no one's going to want to watch it, so we'll just drop it, and then he'll be in the final 2 episodes or whatever. Because obviously, pretty much everything else has been delayed by writer strike stuff.
Yeah,
I think Daredevil's one of them, and it was due to be early 2024, and the strikes are supposed to go until at least September at this point. So
yeah, but I am starting to lose faith a bit.
Yeah, I after watching this, Amy was like, I feel like we shouldn't watch all of the things that come out. And I was like, that is fair. I was like, I don't think there's any coming out for a while. And, you know, October's a little while away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I mean, I was watching this weekly. I know you had to catch up more so we could talk about it than anything really.
Yeah.
Did you find it a bit of a slog watching through?
Yeah. Like, it was a bit better watching it all back to back. It was more continuous, but it was kind of like
they're like 40 minutes though.
Yeah,
aren't they?
it's like, and we watched them back to back.
Well done.
I think
that's why I was like, you're pushing through.
Yeah, I think I had a break before the final episode because my mum called me.
Nice. You're like, cheers, mum.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it was just kind of like, yeah, it did feel like pushing through because I had to, rather than like, oh, I really want to finish this off. This is kind of like,
yeah, no,
yeah. I think if it wasn't for us doing this, I might be at that similar point of Amy. Because like, I've watched everything Marvel have put out since it started. Like, the only thing I never finished Agent Carter season 2.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I haven't seen Cloak and Dagger.
There was a season 2 of
Runaways,
that, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen season 2 of Cloak and Dagger. If there's a season 2, I watched Runaways, and like,
yeah, there was 2 and 3 Runaways. 3
Runaways. Okay, I don't think I've seen season 3 of Runaways. Yeah. So like 3 series of stuff in like 15 years. But
and there's Hellstrom, but that was on Hulu. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't count that really.
That's a separate thing. But yeah, like, they still need to start making good stuff.
Well, they have said that they're slowing down, but I think it's just because they've got all this stuff that's half done. They need to release it within a certain time frame to, you know, not have to write off on tax.
I think it's the fact that the films have been of lower quality over the last few years as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. When is the next film? Do we know? Oh, Marvel's in like a couple of months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I was quite excited about this one, and it was definitely a flop for me.
Yeah, same.
And it must have been a fucking tax write-off. 220 million, 220,000.
220 million. What?
220. How much they paid for this? It's 220,000.
How much do you reckon they paid Samuel L. Jackson? Probably
I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, probably 20 million of that.
Probably more, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's that. So that's the end of the episode.
Yay, woo.
Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed this more than we enjoyed Secret Invasion and White Rabbit Project. I truly do hope you do, because it'd be worrying if you didn't. If you did, please give us 5 stars on wherever you listen to this. It goes a long way and it's easy to do. So
Yes.
take a second to just go rate 5 stars. Done. Take you a couple of seconds. You can also get in contact with us, can't you, Sam?
Yes, you can. So if you want to send us an email, you can send it to theprojectpod@gmail.com, or if you want to find our social medias, they're all in the link tree in the episode description. We've got posts going up about new episodes, and we've got some clips on the TikTok.
Ooh, I am catching up on that now. Finally.
Good. I'll have to listen to them.
It's been
I feel like there's some good clips from this episode. I can't remember what, but there was a bit in the middle that was quite fun.
I was getting the clips ready from the quiz yesterday.
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, there's a couple of good ones to do in there.
Nice.
Which will be fun. But yeah, get in there. I think at time recorded, the last ones I put out was the second King of Queens TikTok clip. So
right,
I've still got a few episodes.
I'm behind
to do,
on the YouTube, but yeah. But anyway, we're going around in circles now.
On Pod Planning.
Yeah. So, well, good night and good luck.
I will hear you next week.
Bye.
Bye.